Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning. I hope you're all having a better morning than I am. I don't know if you guys noticed, but, we're recovering from Snow Armageddon.
Yep.
And I'm walking in, minding my own business this morning. And there's this huge sheet of black ice that Jeff knew was there, but didn't bother to tell Adam.
I was warned about it. It's kind of messed
Jeff
up now.
knew about the sheet of ice, but didn't bother telling me. So as they're all sitting here comfortable with their little drinks in the studio, I'm sitting there walking by on Woodward, and all they see me is do a complete 360 flip up in the air, fall on my back.
Look like a cartoon character.
Thanks for the warning, guys. Good morning, Jeff. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. And you know what? That was bad. I was walking down. I saw the ice, wasn't paying attention, and a good Samaritan getting out of his car was, hey, watch that ice over there. I had to walk around, and I didn't even think about it. I see you fall. Dude, I'm like, crap. I forgot to tell Adam.
I can't even explain to you how upset I am. Seriously.
Yeah, no, it's a frustrating way.
I'm in pain, but I'm gonna be willing to look past it. You know why? Because we got some spicy stuff to talk about today. I'm telling you guys, listen, there's obviously the Juwan Howard incident, but later on in the show, let me tell you, we got to talk about potential new leadership in the Lions organization. We got to talk about you losers at home that love to cancel people. You know who you are. But let's start with Juwan Howard. He loses his cool against Wisconsin. He basically, I know I can say the B word,
yeah,
and not get in trouble. I don't feel that does enough justice. It wasn't really that kind of smack. It was like a pimp smack. Like,
yeah.
What?
I tweeted, it's almost like he came at him and then, changed midway.
Yeah.
Like
he totally, he put his palm on him, and then he was like, if I was not a professional head coach right now.
You'd be getting punched, yeah.
And I don't care whose fault it is.
No. It's not about that.
I don't care. I don't care at all, actually. I don't care that the Wisconsin head coach walked up to him and said, or at least tried to stop him from continuing on in the line because he was upset about a timeout. Poor Juwan Howard.
Yeah.
They called a timeout
when
with
he was full court pressing.
Left.
He was full court pressing.
It's just, it's the funniest thing.
Look at this. You can see it. And this is the issue. You see the assistant coach in Wisconsin come over.
I have no problem with this.
No,
I really don't. None of what Wisconsin did, I have a problem with. I have a huge problem with Juwan Howard because he started all that. That was not a Wisconsin player, a Michigan player, overreacting, throwing early punches. No. Who was the first guy to put his hands out? Juwan Howard. And he made it okay for everyone else to do the same thing. Now, I'm sure some players are going to get suspended. But Juwan Howard, this is the second time. Now, the first time we kind of brush it to the side. Why Michigan was winning. They're up by 10. I believe it was Maryland. And you had the altercation with the head coach and the opposing team.
So you're saying when he's up or when he's down?
Well,
there seems to be an issue.
There seems to be a behavior.
So, okay. All right.
And you know what? We were scolding Tom Izzo for grabbing a player by the jersey, pulling him aside at halftime. Mm-hmm. And this guy is sitting here now. This is the second altercation he's had with the head coach now in as many years. And this one seemed like sour grapes to me. It really did.
I'm disappointed in Juwan. And a lot of things, I don't even care, like you said. It's not about who did it. More so, Juwan is getting paid $2 million this year to be the head coach of Michigan. And more than that, be a leader amongst many kids. And for him to do this, open the door for the kids to do that. Because they're seeing what their head coach is doing. It shouldn't be the other way around. It should be the coach holding back the kids. It shouldn't be the kids holding back the coach. And you saw it at the end there. Juwan loses cool, and I get it. If Greg Gard didn't stop him, he probably would have continued walking. But I don't mind him stopping Juwan because he's stopping him to saying, what's the problem? Why are you frustrated with me, considering you were full court pressing?
Full context, though. What was Juwan doing when he was walking after the Wisconsin?
Wasn't looking at him.
I'll remember that.
Oh, yeah, he did point at him.
He pointed in his face like, we're such babies in today's society. What? I called a timeout. You shouldn't be down 20, bro. Your problem, not mine. Stop full court pressing. I want to call timeout. Juwan, I don't know. He was not justified. I don't know what the hell you guys.
This is the problem I have. I've been on Twitter and people saying, even people in our chat saying it, like, I don't like when people touch me. Don't touch. It's not about that. It's about you're a leader. You're getting paid $2 million to be a coach.
Touching you, don't walk by them. Basically, make a passive-aggressive threat to them by saying, "I'll remember that. I'll remember that," and point your finger in their face if you don't want to be touched. Well, people don't like being pointed at. People don't like being passively threatened. How about that, Juwan?
Yeah.
How about that? It's a joke. It's a joke. I expect minimum three-game suspension, at least. Has to be at least 3. Hell, I go towards 5. And I think, Jeff, this is kind of where I'm getting at this morning. I brought up last season.
Yeah.
Except Michigan was up 10 during that game. So, again, like we all kind of like brush it to the side. Passion from Juwan Howard. I'm seeing now a pattern of behavior. And for me, what I'm seeing is a guy that I may have to consider letting go of, Jeff. I really do. This guy may not be the right coach for Michigan moving forward. And maybe I'm being a bit harsh. You don't put your hands on other people.
And the timing of it. Like, they're trying to get to the tournament, and they need to win games, and now he's going to face a suspension for how long, you think? Like,
look, it's an automatic suspension.
I don't know how long, but...
Suspension, I'm not even worried about. I think that's going to happen. That's not even my problem. But what do you think of this? Am I overreacting this morning when I say I think somebody needs to consider moving on from Juwan Howard? All the success given. Thank you. You have a young team. That's your recruiting pitch? Yeah. Hey, I'll lose my cool on the sideline. You can too. Welcome to Michigan. Is that the recruiting pitch?
I got
a devil's advocate play here.
I'm willing to listen.
Michigan's had a rough season, right? Not the season that they wanted to go into. Last year was magical.
Yep.
This year has been tragic in some ways.
Yep.
Do you think this is Juwan Howard just trying to do something to get his team fired up again?
I think there's better ways you could do it. Like, for example, getting a technical. Like, there's better ways than throwing hands on a coach, in my opinion.
I think that's the perfect point is, like, if you're trying to motivate the sideline, great. You just got a few players suspended. They're going to miss games.
You're going to miss games.
You're going to miss games now. Yep. That's not helping your team. Like, it's the old getting thrown out of a game for just the sake of trying to get the players piped up. I mean, that's kind of, I get your analogy, but you don't put your hands on an assistant. Doesn't matter who, a player. I mean, you don't do that. You basically started an altercation because you had sour grapes. At 1, you lost the game. 2, that they called a timeout. You're running full court press, dude. Why does your team get to play, quote unquote, the right way, and Wisconsin can't use the 10-second rule? Why? That's what drives me nuts.
And the problem I have too is listen, I talk about him and Greg Gard. The problem is Greg Gard stopped him, put his hands on him, which you were able to see, and just stopped him. He didn't swing at Greg Gard. He swung at the assistant head coach. So, in my opinion, if you're swinging at somebody, wouldn't you swing at the guy who had his hands on you, right?
This is a pattern of behavior, man.
It's the issue I have.
Look, you can say he put his hands on Juwan. Again,
what is put?
Juwan Howard walks up to the dude with the passive-aggressive threat. I'll remember that. Okay, wow. Like, okay. And then the coach stops him, and it was so honest. He's like, hey, Juwan, let me explain what happened. Mm-hmm. And then that's like, don't touch me. Here comes the macho man here. Don't touch me, man. Don't touch me. Wow, Juwan, you're really strong. You're the tallest coach probably in basketball right now. Congratulations. Mm-hmm. Congratulations. You can probably maul anybody. That doesn't win you basketball games, man.
You know what I was most disappointed about? Not that the incident itself, but afterwards in the press conference, and how he pretty much stood. He just didn't even bow. He said, "Hey, don't put your hands on me." Like that's not. And I get it. I do it. If you're in the streets and someone's putting their hands on you, I get it. But as a head coach,
we're not in the streets.
But representing Michigan, like if I'm at a bar or wherever I'm at, and someone's putting their hands on me, of course you have an issue with that. But if you're Juwan Howard, you're the leader of that program, and you go into the press conference afterwards and say, I told him not to put. He told him not to put his hands on me. Like that's not the mature way to go about it. And in my opinion, that made me more disappointed because I'm like, okay, so if you're not gonna be responsible for your actions, then are you gonna be? So now he's gonna take accountability when he's suspended.
To get suspended. We're gonna start first and foremost with the head coach, Juwan Howard. Then we're gonna go to the assistant on the opposing sideline because if I recall correctly, he put his hands on a Michigan player, didn't he? I think that's
the assistant.
The assistant put his hands on a Michigan player that I believe prompted the Juwan Howard reaction.
It could be
right or wrong. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But guys, that's two. Let's say you know the old saying, right? 3 strikes and you're out. This is 2 strikes on Juwan Howard. And if I'm Michigan, I have a real tight leash, and it's really short too. It's not happening again. Like you're good. You're done. One more time. I don't care if you get into a verbal altercation with the coach on the other team. Not having it. Magical run last year, right? Everybody was happy. Top recruiting class. They have some ballers out on the court that aren't playing all that great, to be honest with you. Right? Some highly touted kids. What's your recruiting pitch now? You're not even going to make the NCAA tournament.
The timing of it, like
you're not going to make the tournament. What's your pitch, Juwan? Come to Michigan. You can put your hands on the other players just like I do. Michigan. Really, huh? That's your pitch. Yeah, I don't know. It's really disappointing.
No, it is.
Because I think a lot of people love Juwan Howard. They love the job he's done. They love that kind of resurgence in that new Michigan basketball you're seeing right over the last 2.5 years. And he can't control his temper? Really? Really? It blows my mind.
And control your temper in the biggest, like he needs these stretch of games to make the tournament, and he does that.
We said 4-2 in the last 6. You're 0-1 already.
And he's not going to be there.
And you haven't even played a ranked team yet. Or excuse me, Wisconsin was ranked. So you're 0-1 already against the 4 ranked. Good luck. You got 3 more ranked teams.
He's not going to be there for Michigan State. Like,
I don't know.
Go on and on.
Michigan season.
It's
Look, when you look at it, is it far-fetched for me to say that Juwan Howard's actions cost Michigan a chance at getting into the tournament?
That's completely fair. Yeah.
I think it's fair to say. And not only is it fair to say, is it fair of me to say as the athletic director, Juwan, you cost this basketball program an opportunity to make a significant amount of revenue. It's a recruiting pitch all off season when you're trying to scout or recruit players, excuse me. You did that. Give me one reason why I shouldn't fire you. And one reason why going into next year when you likely still have your job, that I am not on you every single day. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I really don't. I don't understand how he puts his players in that position.
That's
what I'm more upset about, honestly. I could care less that him and the assistant had a bust up.
And
the fact that you put your players in the middle of a scrum where they were throwing punches.
Yeah.
It's not like it was a middle school shove match, right? Where in middle school the fight was you just shove each other until one of you stopped, right?
It could have got way worse. They were in Wisconsin too. Like the students, I mean, these guys could have went crazy in this arena. Like it could have got way, way worse. Could have had the palace the mouse at the palace in Wisconsin. But
Jeff, I'm talking to Juwan Howard after this, and I'm telling him that's the last time, ever.
Yeah,
ever. I don't care if we're 30-0,
and something happens,
and you do something. I don't care. Yeah. You're done.
I think it's fair.
I don't care if we win the game. You're done.
Tom Izzo's been a coach for how long?
That's where I'm at. Yeah,
and he's done what? To put his hands on kids. Like, I mean,
protecting his players, Tommy. That has to be one of the most ignorant comments. What were they in a street fight? He had to put his hands on another person.
Yeah, it wasn't.
He was protecting his players, Tommy. From who? The boogeyman.
The Wisconsin, and he says Wisconsin players went in through punches. They didn't throw punches until after the fact. Nobody was throwing punches.
The first one to throw punches, okay, I believe was Terrence Williams. I believe. It doesn't matter at this point because nothing was thrown up until Juwan Howard threw the first set of hands.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Juwan Howard started it. That's the point. He is the head coach. He is the leader of your basketball program.
He gets paid to do it.
That's not good optics. No player cares that their coach, quote unquote, stood up for them by getting them into a middle of a melee and a brawl because their coach is an idiot and has a bad temper. Not a good look. It really isn't. But speaking of great looks, you know what looks great, Jeff? Me throwing a football at the Folding Worms.
That's where Juwan Howard can go take his anger out. Fulling Warehouse.
Probably.
And home of the original football bowling pin game called Fulling. Host your corporate party, team building event, or you can just come in with family and friends. There's 2 ways to play, either $10 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation for $120 for up to 10 people for 2 hours. They have over 100 different beers, their $2 mystery beer machine, and multiple full bars. You bring the food or you can have it delivered in. Come get your full on. Check it out at thefullingwarehouse.com.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adham Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Guys, thank you for joining us this morning, whether you're listening live on the Woodward Sports app or you're tuned in, watching at home, on the road, who knows, on YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. We thank you for joining us this morning. Jeff, I have a question for you.
What's that?
Are Detroit Pistons fans overreacting in terms of their criticism for Dwane Casey?
In my opinion, and I'm not saying Dwane Casey is not deserving of any blame. I just think people, as of right now, and it's normal. I mean, in the NBA, the coach is the most expendable part of a team. You can fire a coach and bring in another coach. That's across all sports. But with Dwane Casey specifically, I just think the timing of it doesn't make sense. And not only that, I'll bring up what I do have an issue with Dwane Casey about. And this is the big thing I look at. It's progression. And he started out in Toronto in 2011. They won 23 games that year, 23 and 43. I believe it was the lockout year. The following year, they won 34 games, 34 and 48. The following year and the following multiple years after that, it was 48, 49, 56, and then he was consistently in 50 wins for 2 or more seasons. Then he came to Detroit. So you want that progression in Detroit. Like his last 3 seasons alone, 20 and 46, 20 and 52, and now 13 and 45. So you could talk about how bad the team is. That's what I'm going to go off of because I agree. I think this team, and you talk about veteran leadership, they don't have it. And that's a big part about winning games in the NBA. But you have to look at Dwane in different ways. The problem I have with Dwane is not knowing an identity for this team. Like, you want the young guys to play, and that's the goal. But then you have Corey Joseph closing games. Like, that's the issue I have. Or you have Kelly Olynyk closing games. So it's a draw between, and I don't know what's going on in the Pistons front office. I don't know if they're telling Dwane to tank or to win games because it seems like he's doing both. I don't really know at this point. I just think for Dwane Casey, he's the right coach for this situation. He's good at developing players. You've seen it from year 1 to year 2. Sadiq's got better. Killian Hayes, you got questions about, but for the most part, he's got a little better. And then Cade Cunningham looks amazing. And Cade Cunningham came out with this quote, posted on Woodward Sports on Twitter, talking about how he plays hard for Dwane Casey and he wants to win more games for him. So obviously the players like him. My question is Dwane the coach when you're winning games? And I'm not sure. But I'm willing to give Dwane one more season. I've always said this. I've said this all year. The clock for Dwane starts next season because you're going to have another lottery pick this year, probably going to acquire a guy like Chet Holmgren or even Jabari Smith. And that's when the clock starts because then now you'll have Cade Cunningham. You'll have another lottery pick in either Chet or Jabari. You'll have Sadiq in his 3rd year. You'll have Isaiah Stewart multiple years in. You'll have more cap space for Troy Weaver to kind of build the team around him. That's when I can look at Dwane Casey and say, are you the head coach when we're winning games? As of right now, it's hard to evaluate him at him, but there's certainly issues on the floor when you're watching these Pistons.
I think that's the biggest problem, right?
Yeah.
What's your responsibility as a basketball coach? Now, I can be fair to say, hey, Dwane, I'm not expecting playoffs this year. Hey, Dwane, I just want to see a competitive basketball team. I want to see a team that has an identity. Yeah. I think that is Detroit's biggest frustration right now with this basketball team. What's the identity? ISO ball? Running 4 ball handlers all on the court at the same time? Great rotations, man. I think that's the frustration. Now, look, whether you want to say they're tanking, I don't care. It's
not the point either, yeah.
They're not playing good basketball. Last year, nobody minded that the Pistons had one of the worst records in the NBA. Why, Jeff? They were fun to watch.
And they were beating good teams.
They were very close. They were in close games. throughout a majority of the season. This year, it's just a disaster.
So I was having a conversation with somebody about Dwane Casey, and obviously this is the conversation that we were having. And one of the points that they made to me is when Dwane Casey was hired here in Detroit, it was more on the premises that he was going to take like a Reggie Jackson, he was going to take an Andre Drummond and a Blake Griffin and a Derrick Rose and try to build on that core and make them a better team. He didn't come here necessarily for a rebuild, and now all of a sudden we're in the middle of a rebuild, and I think he's doing a great job with the hand that he's been dealt so far. I
will give you that. That's actually a great point. That's just brought up, because I've heard that as well from not even only him, from Anthony, our guy from Pistons Talk, talking about how Dwane Casey originally never signed up for a rebuild. I get that. He's a coach that, necessarily will win you games. He's been former coach of the year. He's won the East. Obviously, with LeBron being there, he didn't get to the finals. But with this team, obviously, he didn't sign up for a rebuild, but that doesn't take away from the point of Dwane Casey. If you're going to be a head coach in this league, let alone for the Detroit Pistons, you got to do two things, either one or the other. You develop players, and like you said, you build an identity, you try and win games. Right now, you're seeing the development for the partially. You're seeing guys like Sadiq take a step, but the point I have is, like Adham brought up, the competitiveness and having these guys compete night in and night out. And you saw it last year, and it's scaring me a little bit that in 1 year, the players are still here. You add a little more talent, and now you're regressing. Like, what's...
Look, we can agree. We agree it's an overreaction. I don't think we...
Yes.
I think we're both on the same page
overreaction,
here.
But be weary.
I don't think he should be fired this year.
No.
We'll get that out
Absolutely
there.
not.
That's not a thing. I don't think you do that. But I think it's just frustration.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it's justified. Nobody likes the product on the basketball court right now. Now, whether you want to put it on Troy Weaver, whether you want to put it on Jeff, it's up to you guys. But jokes aside, it's just not a good basketball team right now. I did not like the fact that they kept Jeremy Grant. But that's a Troy Weaver thing. I can't hold Dwane Casey responsible. And I think for Casey, I do have to remember, you know what, in Toronto, when they finally had at least somewhat of a team, instant success. Now, it wasn't championships, but you saw the 38, the 44, the 46, the 50. You saw the progression. And with Detroit, I think you all believe in Cade Cunningham the way I do and the way Jeff does, and really I think everybody in this room. Well, you know what? NBA players don't really start entering their prime until year 4, 5, 6. Are you willing to be that patient? Because that's what it's going to take. What, Mark Jackson just suddenly came across Steph Curry and Klay Thompson? No, they were 2, 3, 4 years in. They were all working together in the elevator offense. And then it's like, all right, we felt like we reached our ceiling here. Dude is too much into religion. Let's go to Steve Kerr. The rest is history. Seriously.
Yeah, no. Mark Jackson.
This is a long-term game. What guy is coming into the league and carrying a team to the finals? When's the last rookie to do that? LeBron? It's 03.
Yeah.
04. Come on.
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. It's not a thing. Giannis, he had to develop. Trae Young is still developing. Luka still developing. They're not going anywhere yet. Granted, Trae Young had a good postseason run last year, but still. It blows my mind, Jeff. I don't think you fired Dwane Casey, but I think somebody needs to at least acknowledge the product sucks. And the players aren't like the worst. You can at least figure out something.
Yeah.
There's no game plan. There's no offense. There's no rhythm. There's no consistency. The rotations are mind-boggling. Killian Hayes one night will get 12 minutes, while Corey Joseph is sitting there at 32, 33.
I know.
And we're trying to develop the 19, 20-year-old or what? I'm not saying he's a perfect player.
But get him minutes. You're not winning games.
You're not going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And you know what? Quote, unquote, it's a lost season. Okay, it's a lost season, Jeff. No problem.
Then play Killian.
Play Killian.
There you go.
See what you got.
Yeah.
Get him more minutes. Blows my mind, Jeff. I wouldn't fire him, but I'm starting to get really frustrated with the basketball.
I love that you brought up the Warriors, because I think Dwane could be a Mark Jackson. I really do. Like,
so
Dwane,
he's a GOAT. He's a sacrificial GOAT.
Yes, he could. The sacrificial GOAT, he could be. And it's same like what we could talk about Blashill. Might be the coach to, get us to the next coach. Like, he's going to develop these guys, and I think he's doing a decent job. I think people are saying guys took a step back. I don't agree with that. I think a couple guys, Killian Hayes maybe questionably, but the next coach, I don't know who it's going to be. It might even very well be on Dwayne's coaching staff, but whoever it is, in my mind, will be able to take this team just one more step up. So hopefully that's the case.
I saw a comparison in the chat to John Morant, right? And the Memphis Grizzlies situation. Totally different situations. Memphis actually has a basketball team, and they have a third-year vet now who is arguably one of the MVP frontrunners, and John Morant. This isn't year one Cade Cunningham, year two Killian Hayes, who is no John Morant. You'd like Cade Cunningham to be John Morant. I think we can all agree to that, right?
Yep.
But that's the only one on the team. Sadiq Bey, who's he? Jeremy Grant, you expect him to be gone next year.
They got guys on that Grizzlies
It's such
team.
a different...
Yeah.
It's two totally different basketball teams. One dude averaged 17, 19. Now he's at 27 a game right now. I mean...
And then they got Desmond Bain. He's giving you 18. Jaren Jackson giving him 18. Like, they got a lot
Jaren
of
Jackson
guys.
is such an underrated player right now in the NBA. Like, they have their team that they're going to move forward with. Mm-hmm. Where's the big guy for Cade Cunningham? Where are the spot-up shooters so that when he penetrates, he can dish out? Where? That's not how... Again, I think that's my biggest frustration. Not whether it's on Troy Weaver, Dwane Casey. I don't care right now. All I know is the product on the basketball court isn't good. It's not even watchable. I'm not saying you have to win games.
But you're right.
But don't score 13 points in a quarter and expect me to keep the channel on. Don't. Don't run iso ball and run hero ball. And when Jeremy Grant has one good night and he hits one clutch shot for the first time since November 4th, you sit there, I told you Jeremy Grant was good for this basketball team. God dang it. God dang it. All right, guys. You know what else is good to get off your chest sometimes? Frustration.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the way Juwan Howard went about it, but listen, I think we all deal with some stuff. Jeff, could you tell everybody at home about our good friends at the Sports Marketing Agency?
Yeah, people that are able to help you out. SMA. And SMA has been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for a decade. Not only that, but against the issues against mental health and substance use disorder. With the help of NFL alumni, Sean Jordan has been able to save lives and take a stand against these issues. And soon, coming to Woodward Sports, the sports marketing agency podcast called This is the F Word series on fentanyl. If you are struggling with substance abuse or mental health, they are here to help. Please go to thesportsma.com and please tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
All right, guys. We're back. And you know what? I tried to enjoy my weekend. I really did. I gave my weekend every effort. I made every effort this weekend to try and enjoy
Olympics?
it. No, hell no.
Oh.
I'd rather get my eyes gouged out than watch the Olympics in China. Not gonna happen. Anyways, Jeff, how bad was All-Star Weekend for the NBA?
I will say
we
this.
thought the Pro Bowl was bad. That was pretty bad.
I will say this. I think the Pro Bowls, they're both bad. Let me get that straight. They're both bad. The only thing the NBA has going for them last night was Steph Curry. That was it. If this man didn't hit 16 threes in the All-Star game, nobody was going to be watching. And it's the same thing I have with All-Star Weekend. I don't mind the competition. I like the three-point contest. The problem, and I like the dunk contest, but this year, disgusting. And this is the issue I have with All-Star Weekend and the dunk contest. If you want to have a banger of an All-Star Weekend, because it ain't going to be the All-Star game that's responsible for people tuning in. It's the other events. And they did a good job this year with the Skills Challenge. They changed it around. The problem I have with the dunk contest, go get dunkers. Why is your best available dunker Obi Toppin? There's no way Ja Morant wasn't available. There's no way you can't get... I know Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon are essentially retired at this point, but you need guys like that. Like Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon set the bar.
Whose fault is this, though?
The NBA's.
No. Who ruined the dunk contest by never delivering? who ruined the
my-
idea that the best dunkers, the best stars in the game, show up like a Dominique, like an MJ, like a Kobe.
I wonder who that is.
I wonder who that is. Do you know who that is, Jeff? You know who I'm talking about.
He's from a state.
Because he's not a style dunker. That guy, what is he going to do?
This dude is one of the best dunkers ever.
He's like power. Like, he's not going to go between the legs.
But
You know what I mean?
you can put on a show, man.
Oh, you could. You're right.
I don't need him to
right.
do a 360 windmill, man.
At least Michael Jordan tried it once. That's what people will say, but I get you. I agree with you. More players need to step up.
LeBron ruined NBA All-Star Weekend.
No, he did.
Yes, he did.
Not the whole weekend.
Yes, he
You know,
did.
in the dunk
Because of the
contest.
years and years and years of bad decisions
Aaron,
and never stepping up to the plate and doing a dunk contest or participating in these events. Hear me out.
Okay, I'll let you know.
He set it up where today's NBA's... Who did John Morant look up to growing up? LeBron's ass was on the bench. He wasn't even watching. Where was LeBron for all these young kids coming up? And all these young stars emerging?
For you're talking about in the dunk contest.
Giannis isn't even in the dunk contest.
I know.
Nobody that can dunk, that you actually care about, is in the dunk contest. It's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
That was the worst dunk contest I've seen in my life, but
It was
to
bad.
LeBron's credit, he did one thing right. Everything he did wrong led up to the moment in time where we got to see Jalen Green fail in the dunk contest. That was amazing.
I know.
That was amazing. But seriously, I think LeBron ruined it for everybody because he set the precedent that I'm a superstar. Yeah, I don't need to do it. Yeah, I don't need to participate.
But
You know what? I'll tease it
okay.
here and there. I'll tease it during my prime. Yeah, I'll never do a dunk contest.
Okay, this is the problem. With LeBron, I get where you're coming from. The issue I have is not with superstars not doing it. Because we had Aaron Gordon do it, Zach LaVine. They're not superstars, but that was a hell of a dunk contest, historically. So it's not necessarily getting the stars. It's just getting anybody, and I agree with you. Maybe that is because of John Morant. Maybe John Morant looks at it like, I'm above that. I don't need to be doing the dunk contest. And maybe you're right. Maybe it could attribute to LeBron. But the big thing is, why the hell not? And why the hell was Jalen Green, which sadly was probably the only guy that was the highest flyer there at the dunk contest, and you saw how that worked out. I was falling asleep when he was dunking. It was too many dunks. They should have canceled him. I don't know. He got like 10 attempts at one point. But anyway, moving on. The dunk contest, three-point contest, I would like to see one thing added, and I saw it. If you go to Woodward Sports on Twitter, they tweeted out a great poll, and it was, would you rather have the dunk contest or the 1v1 tournament? And I wouldn't take away the dunk contest, but I would love a 1v1 tournament. Why? And imagine a 1v1 tournament, if RIP, but if Kobe was alive. I would love to watch Kobe on All-Star Weekend, 1v1 in Cats, or anybody now for that matter. I think 1v1 would be better, more competitive. You could take out anything, take out the dunk contest. I like the dunk contest, but find a way to get some 1v1s in there. We need more competition. We need more. The All-Star game was no competition.
You need names, man. What made the All-Star game so great back in the day?
Because defense was being played.
Well, no, just you had the names, man, at every event.
And they were trying. They were actually trying.
There was actual effort.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell, Derrick Jones Jr., Zion, obviously he's 500 pounds right now. He can't participate. But I'm just going to give you the names that I think should be in a dunk contest, right? John Morant, Zach LaVine, Giannis. I already told you Donovan Mitchell. I bet Devin Booker could probably do it. You don't have the stars leading the show. That's the problem. You brought up Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine. Did they ruin it? Were they too good? The only way Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon could have performed the way they did, since they're not, household names in terms of superstar players, they needed to do that.
Yeah.
They needed to dunk that way. A tomahawk dunk by LeBron gets a 9.5, 10. A tomahawk dunk by, I don't know, Mercedes Lewis gets a 5. Nobody cares. People are there. It's the All-Star weekend. They want to see the All-Stars in the competitions.
Yep.
And I think LeBron set that precedent, whether you guys like it or not.
The All-Star game needs to be, it's a problem, man.
And the All-Star game itself is a joke.
Like last night, I was watching with my brother, and we're tuning in. I'm like, yeah, the All-Star game's on. And I totally, for some reason, I was expecting it to be a competitive game. Don't ask me why. I don't understand. As soon as they did tip-off, I watched nobody run down to the net. It was an open lane for a layup, and I looked at my brother. I said, all right, turn this off. All right, we're done. We're done. If they aren't even going to contest a layup, I'm done. And it's not entertaining to me. That's why I said if Steph Curry doesn't hit 16 threes, No one and their mother's watching. Like, nobody's watching that game.
It was the
bad.
worst All-Star weekend.
Arguably of all time. Like, I would even go that far. Like, it was bad. No dunk contest. Karl Anthony Towns won the three-point contest, a center. So nothing makes sense to me this All-Star weekend. The dunk contest was trash. The three-point contest, no one was in there that an actual threat. I mean, you had Karl Anthony Towns that was, kudos to him. All-Star weekend was trash. The All-Star game, excuse me. Skills challenge, you had Cade. Rising Star game was, Cade won MVP. That was interesting. Other than that, I'm out, dude.
Basketball sucks. That's kind of the conclusion I'm getting.
You guys didn't watch the celebrity games? Like the best part of the whole weekend.
Maybe the celebrity game. But that's sad. The best part of All-Star weekend was the damn celebrity game. Like, what the hell is that, Fish? I mean,
Fish.
The celebrity weekend's always fun. You guys don't like the celebrity weekend?
I love you, Fish. Fish, you know what? Since Fish is here, and Fish wants to talk.
Oh boy.
Fish, you need to explain yourself. But... You need to explain yourself.
Okay.
Now, can you answer questions for me real quick?
Sure.
All right. Where was the All-Star game hosted this year?
It was in Cleveland, Ohio, which I'm actually pissed I didn't go down there. I was there last weekend.
All right.
I don't know why I didn't go
so
this
it was
weekend.
hosted in Cleveland, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Now, can you tell me what is the only state in the United States to be surrounded by five bodies of water, correct?
Michigan. In the whole of the United States,
yeah, Michigan. Right? All right. Now, what is the state, or here, let me rephrase it. What is the city known as Motown?
Michigan. Well, Detroit.
Detroit in Michigan,
it's in the
correct?
state of Michigan, yes.
All right.
I don't know why I'm doing this.
Thank you. Now, Fish, we're doing educational purposes here.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Now, could you tell everybody, all of our lovely people at home,
yep.
Could you tell them what you were talking about before the show started and what was coming out of your mouth?
Mm-hmm.
Not my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Your mouth.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead. Explain yourself.
Yeah.
Explain yourself.
Please.
I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Explain yourself.
Cleveland and Detroit are the same city.
Okay, you can't just say that. Please explain, because you're going to get
Before I grab a bat
you're gonna get
go into the booth,
you got to give points,
why.
Fish.
Explain why.
You're going to get torn
And you
apart.
can even say to some point, Ohio and Michigan are the same.
Oh,
just in terms of like, okay, I'll say this: Michigan does not, or Ohio doesn't have like a Traverse City, but Michigan and Ohio both have a big stretch of land where it's just nothing. I guess that's every state.
That's the only comparison, Fish?
No, that's one of them.
All right.
Keep
Detroit
going.
and Cleveland basically have the same downtown. If you go downtown Detroit, okay, I'll give you Campus Martius. Cleveland doesn't really have a Campus Martius, but Cleveland has
Nobody
Rock and
cares
Roll
about
Hall of
Campus
Fame.
Martius. There's Traverse City. There's the UP. Mackinac Bridge. Fish. Ohio sucks.
They have some land spots.
Fish. Imagine how rude of it would it be? How rude of me would it be, actually?
Okay.
If I compared an illiterate state that they can't even spell their own name, their own state name properly, that they need a chant for it.
That's your opinion.
One of the most prestigious states in the United States. We're comparing garbage to a diamond. That's what you're doing this morning.
So you're calling Michigan a diamond.
It's funny. The whole chat is just Fish, .. It's just all
That's
like,
fine.
just,
That's fine.
It's surprise.
If
Fish.
you go both
It's surprise.
downtowns, they're the exact same.
They're not the exact same stick. Can you help me here?
Please jump in.
Let me Fish, turn my damn mic on. All right, I've been quiet. I've let you do this all morning long. And I've had enough of this.
Have any of you guys even visited Cleveland?
I visited Cleveland. It is an absolutely atrocious place. There is one street in Cleveland with like 2 decent restaurants on them, and their decent restaurants are absolute trash. Cleveland has nothing but a statue of some dude named Cleveland in the middle of their downtown. That is the only thing that you go to Cleveland to see. It is an awful place to be. It is an awful place to live. They produce guys like MGK, and that is their height of music. We are Motown, Barry Gordy, Adham,
yes,
White Stripes,
yes,
like Bob Seger, Madonna. Even though I hate her, she's better than anything Cleveland has ever turned out. Fish, I'm this close to walking into that booth, ripping you out of it, and making you walk your ass to Cleveland.
It would be better than Adham doing it.
Fish. Go on.
Okay, all you guys are You're walking into Ohio wanting to hate Ohio. You're not walking with an open mind.
Fish, I walked in with an open heart many years ago. And then I met you. Ohio? They're so illiterate they can't even spell their own state properly. They need a champ for
Michigan
it.
doesn't have one. What does Michigan have?
They don't
Nothing.
need to. They've got more. They've got double the letters.
They do.
And they
have
can
double
still
letters.
pronounce it just fine. They can spell it too.
Yeah, they could spell it.
An illiterate state, a normal state. There you go, Stick. Take care of business.
All right, here we go.
Get out of here.
Get out of here, Fish. It's not gonna take
I can't believe, Fish, they're just so different. That's like, Fish, I'm going to insult your heritage, all right? That's
Your
like,
heritage.
That's like me comparing the Philippines to Australia. I'll go even a step further. I'll insult my own country. I'll insult my own people. That's like comparing Iraq or Libya to Australia or the United States.
But they're not the same.
Now, that's
Cleveland
the point.
and Detroit
Michigan
are-
and Ohio are not the same.
They're similar.
There's levels, Fish. There's Michigan, normal states, a bunch of dirt, Madonna, a bunch of more dirt. Whoever else you don't like.
Just like Chicago and New York are
Okay.
similar.
Okay, hold on.
Chicago and New York are not similar. How?
They're not. Fish.
How?
They're both big cities, just like Miami and New York are similar.
Fish,
LA and New York
if you,
are similar.
If you take away Ohio State, Fish, what do they have? Go on.
What do they have if you take away
Like, what do they
Ohio
got?
State?
What do they got? Take out Ohio State. They got the Paul brothers. They have Jake Paul, Logan Paul.
They have Cincinnati.
Uh,
They have Columbus.
Okay,
they still
hold
have
on.
the city
Hold
of
on.
Columbus.
Hold on. Now you're jumping cities. You said now they have the Bengals. Now you're going to Cincinnati now. So we got to
That's
stick with
still in
Cleveland.
Ohio.
Okay. What the hell does Ohio, specifically Cleveland?
Okay.
You go to Cleveland. Mm-hmm. Name 5 things you can do.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Bunch of museums around there.
We have museums?
You got yes, every state has museums. You
Yes.
got all the Brown Stadium, Cavs.
Okay, we have
You can
stadium.
smoke crack. You can rob people.
There you go.
You can do that in Detroit.
You can look at that nasty ass river water that they have right by them.
You
A
could do
mistake
the
by the
same
lake,
thing in
where they have
Detroit.
E. coli coming in at least once a year and turning that whole
I could do the
damn
same
lake
thing in
Fish,
green.
Detroit.
COVID
What am I
originated in
doing in
Cleveland, just so you
Detroit?
know. COVID started in Cleveland.
That's a lie.
That's not a lie. That is the truth.
Where you finding
Fact
that
check
from?
me.
I will fact
Don't worry
check you.
about it.
It originated in the country that you won't watch the Olympics from.
Listen, if Trump can sit up there for 4 years and say whatever the hell he wants, so can I. Cleveland started COVID,
One
just
last
so you
point
know.
on why Cleveland sucks. LeBron James wouldn't even stay there.
Okay, but that's
got- I think
because
that's the
of a
ultimate mic
basketball
drop.
team.
He's got
Right?
a point.
I think we
That's
can all
because of
agree.
a basketball team. That has nothing
Cleveland
to do
blew
with
a
the city.
3-1 series lead. Like, nobody cares about Ohio. They suck.
You mean Golden State blew a 3-1 lead?
No, he's talking about Cleveland Indians.
They did blow a 3-1 lead.
Okay,
Cleveland
LeBron,
sucks.
Yeah.
I don't like Cleveland. I think they're all stupid.
Okay.
I
Well,
think
that's-
the
and
entire
that's your
state of
opinion.
Ohio
And I'm fine
is a
with that.
disservice to this beautiful country. People tell me all the time the 50 greatest states in the nation.
The nation.
49. I don't consider Ohio part of this country.
We got 49.
Just me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just me.
Well, when you guys wake up and realize that they're the same, similar state, of course, not every state's the same, but they're similar to
They're
each
not.
other.
The only similarities they have is that they're both states in the United States. That's it. That's their only comparison you can make. That's it. But it's all good, Fish. You know what you need?
The flats. Cleveland has the flats. What does Detroit have?
What does he need? Adam?
Fish, I have a baseball bat,
Detroit
and I'm going to
have?
flatten your head.
That's fine. I'm prepared for it. What does Detroit have?
Oh, my God.
Okay, we're not going into this. We can honestly argue.
I'll
all
tell
day
you what
about this.
Detroit has. Detroit has Lady Jane's haircuts for men.
They do.
They do.
Because
Fish.
you need a haircut, and God knows so does Jeff.
They do, and listen, I do as well. And this is why Michigan's better than Cleveland, is because, and there might be a Lady Jane's in Cleveland by that fact, but you can go to Lady Jane's, and now that football's over, very sad, but you can still get a haircut. And we like things uncomplicated, and like Lady Jane's haircuts for men, you could walk in, you sign in, you sit down, and although football's over, you can watch SportsCenter. And before it's over, you're handsome and clean. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week, walk in anytime, because it is wicked awesome.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. 8:44. Jeff, How are you, buddy?
I'm pretty good. I'm ready to talk some things we got to discuss here.
Thanks for asking how I was.
Fish, you know what? I don't ask people who support the state of Ohio anything. Look, I'm on Ross St. Brown. Obviously, I think we all were very endeared to him towards the end of the season. I mean, he was playing at such an elite level.
Yeah.
Down the stretch. But the PFF grades came out for rookie wide receivers. And guess who was number 1 on that list? Jamar Chase, obviously.
But you'll never guess who was number 2.
The number 2 wasn't Jalen Waddle.
It wasn't.
Who went over 1,000 yards. It wasn't Devontae Smith. It was a top 10 pick. It was Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, Jeff, my question for you this morning is, if Amon-Ra St. Brown, again, he's an outlier, if that's what you want to say, even though the NFL has always shown that you can draft guys in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round and get production out of. If he is that guy, right, that number 1, that number 2, does that affect how the Lions approach the draft, or at least how Lions fans should at least look at the upcoming draft in terms of, well, we have 2 first-round picks. Wide receivers are going to be available. Do we go for our Justin Jefferson? Do we go for our Jamar Chase? Or do we wait?
I think,
what does Amon-Ra St. Brown's season dictate for you?
I think it dictates exactly what you're saying, and that's, people don't have to panic. And I know last year it was a big thing in the NFL draft. When is Brett Holmes going to select a wide receiver? I remember I was sitting there on my couch talking about it, and he took one in the 4th round, and look how it turned out. So obviously, if that tells me anything, it tells me in Detroit we have the right people making decisions, and that really is what it says. Brett Holmes will still be able to find value in the 4th round, and that hasn't been the case in Detroit ever. So we'll start there. And this is how good teams are built. We just had this discussion last week. How have the Rams been able to go all in? And that's been able to, they trade their first-round picks. They draft well late in the draft. Brad Holmes has shown he can do that. He's only been 1 draft. But even before then, we know he can evaluate talent. That's not the issue. Me personally, although I would like Brad Holmes to select a wide receiver in the 1st round, my opinion, I believe, listen, defense wins championships. I think offense is, slightly, it's just as important. And if you could find a guy like a Justin Jefferson in that 1st round, to me, it's worth it. But it also shows me that I could still have faith if the first 3 picks are all defensive players. Absolutely. Brad Holmes, and the good thing is, we don't even need Amon-Ra to be our wide receiver 1. He just needs to be a very good wide receiver 2, and he's shown that in his first season, 900 yards. He's had an absolute spectacular season, and whether it's Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, David Bell, or Jahan Dotson, I don't care. The fact of the matter is, all of them are going to work with Amon-Ra St. Brown because he could run every route on the route tree. He's just, you can put him anywhere. You can put him in the slot. You can put him on the outside. He's not only a very high IQ player, but someone that, Brad Holmes finding in the 4th round shows me that, listen, if the first 3 picks are all defensive players, I'm not going to sit up here and complain. I'm really not. And the fact that he was able to find that type of value in the 4th round, it shows that any of us should be questioning any decisions this man makes come April. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to take it that way in terms of I'm not going to question his approach or what he's going to do. What I do know for certain is that unless we see an absolute overhaul in the draft where we see 6, 7 wide receivers taken in the first 25, 28 picks, I think there's going to be a pretty damn good wide receiver available at 32 if the Lions choose not to move up. Now, whether they take a defensive player, Jeff, a quarterback, a wide receiver, I think I share the same point of view as you do. I'm not too concerned.
No.
I think Brad Holmes, out of any GM you have ever had in this town, Detroit Lions fans, is one of the very few, if not the only GM in my lifetime that actually has a brain, that can actually evaluate talent, that can actually deliver on what he says.
What would make you question Brad Holmes? Like, it would have to be a quarterback at 2.
It would be a quarterback at number 2.
That would probably be.
But you know what? Like,
even then, they'd love him. I don't know.
If you're in love with the quarterback, yeah. I am one of the people that believe in the theory that if you believe so much in a quarterback, you do whatever it takes to get him. I'm of that mindset. But at number 2, when your defense is hot garbage,
yeah,
I mean, we're talking a total different game here. But I think a quarterback at 2 could be the only decision that would throw me off. But in terms of Amon-Ra St. Brown and what his performance did, I think, one, it built a lot of trust with fans. I think number 2, it brought you a little into behind the scenes on Brad Holmes, who he is. His ability to evaluate talent. He never panicked. He let the board come to him. And the fact that he found him when he did, where he did, I mean, it all came together so well. Cooper Kupp is a 3rd-round pick. Yep. Michael Thomas, a 2nd-round pick. Antonio Brown, 3rd, 4th round? Mm-hmm. Tyreek Hill.
They found him, late in the draft.
So you can find guys, and I mean, that's kind of my case with Kyle Hamilton. You can find safeties in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. But is this guy that good? So good that you just cannot generational pass on him? Okay, fine. Go for him at number 2. Fine. That's your decision. Go for him at number 2. I have no problem with that. What I will say, though, is, did you watch Jalen Ramsey in the Super Bowl? Did you watch the Bengals' entire secondary try to cover Cooper Kupp? You can't do it in today's NFL. So they're already at a disadvantage, and I know safety's a different position. That would be my only I guess my pause for hesitation or I'd question a pick. It would be the quarterback or the safety at 2. But other than that, I think the board's going to fall to them. Mm-hmm. Will they trade up to grab a quarterback? We don't know that yet. We really don't. But there's one key element I think we're forgetting about here. Quintez Cephas. What does he look like? And to be honest with all of you, I don't know how patient I'm going to be. I don't think I'm going to have patience for an off-season injury, him dropping multiple passes in preseason. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how patient I'm going to be. But if you look at Cephas as a number 1, I'm not going to share that opinion with you. Where's the number 1 on this team? Can St. Brown become a number 1? Cooper Kupp's a number 1. But he plays in the slot. Today's NFL is so different, right?
Right.
So you don't need the conventional Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. They're nice to have, don't get me wrong.
And it helps out your number 1.
But a Drake London. Who could it be for the Lions in the draft? I think that's the next one. All right. Don Burr in the chat. I love this. Adam, come on now. You can cover Cooper Kupp. Really? Really? It didn't look like anybody could guard him all year.
No, he was open.
So somebody help me with that. You can guard Cooper Kupp? Tell me. The Bengals had one job, and they did it every single time. Bracket cover Cooper Kupp. Which means they had a person covering the inside and take away the outside from Cooper Kupp.
Especially late in the game.
He was double-teamed for the entire game ever since OBJ went down. They still couldn't guard him. What does that mean? You can't cover them. You can't cover these guys. They're too good. They're too good. And even if you can cover them, they're going to beat you 7, 8, 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
You know how you disrupt an offense's rhythm? You get to the quarterback. You don't believe me? Watch the Super Bowl. It's the perfect example. You have an edge rush. You have a pass rush in general.
Watch the last 2 Super Bowls.
Jalen Ramsey was beat by Jamar Chase on the last play of the game.
Yeah.
He was wide open downfield. Joe Burrow has one more second of time. The Bengals win the Super Bowl likely, right? We're having a different conversation here. Pass rush got there, game over. I think pass rusher at number 2. I love what St. Brown has done this year. Mm-hmm. It's such a promising thing. And Stick, you know, I want your opinion on this. Can you recall the last time a GM, year 1, just year 1, and I know we've had some really bad ones here, but they walked in and they kind of earned your trust right away. Now, I know with Quinn, I believe it was Galladay year 1. He got him in the 3rd round or 4th round, I believe.
I think it was the 3rd round.
If I recall, it was year 1 with Bob Quinn, but I don't think you had that level of confidence because he didn't burst onto the scene right away. Amon-Ra St. Brown, a 4th round pick, coming off a draft where people were dying for a wide receiver. I think he
and it's not just that he was a 4th round pick; it's how we went about getting him. Because we knew we weren't going to take him in the 1st round. But like I always go back to our draft party that we had down at the Del Mar that night. Everybody was wondering, are we going to take a wide receiver, right? And they showed some like behind the scenes footage of the war room, and Sheila and people were asking Brad Holmes about, hey, you know, are we going to get a wide receiver? And he's like, we're going to get our guy. We're going to get our guy. And like to me, that showed more than anything because what I like is he targeted Amon-Ra St. Brown, but he didn't overspend for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like he knew his guy was going to be there late, and we were able to get the guy. But to your point of other GMs that I've trusted, hell no. Hell no. I mean,
I don't think one has ever walked in and done what Brad Holmes has done. And it's like a real compliment.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time a first-year GM hit on his draft picks like he did. Like this last year could possibly be the Lions' best complete draft of at least the last 20 years.
If one of the D linemen work, yes, 100%.
They had all 7 playing. And they had them
playing. I mean, the Lions were really in a unique situation.
I
a
will
lot
say
of injuries, contributing.
They were
whatever
all
the case is, but the fact that you just need to hit on 2.
Yeah.
Stick. What's the old saying, right? You draft your players in the first round. You're supposed to hit on them, right? You win Super Bowls in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. You get an Amon-Ra St. Brown every 2 years. You're going to be successful in this league, let alone every year. The guys are there. And I think,
and think about all the other teams that spent their first-round draft capital on a guy that, like outside of Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle went way above where he graded out, compared to Amon-Ra St. Brown. So the value that we got there,
I think that's the problem. Steal. It's like this curve, right? Because you have 2 extremes. You have Jamar Chase, who was unbelievably exceptional, right? Everything you wanted, the quote-unquote the best wide receiving prospect since Calvin. That's what he was. And then you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's in the 4th round over here. And not to discredit Jalen Waddle, he went over 1,100 yards. He actually had a pretty impressive season. I think Miami Dolphins fans are happy with Jalen Waddle. But, oh, damn it, 6? That's the problem. Because you passed on a Penei Sewell, a Micah Parsons, a Rashawn Slater. That's I think the overwhelming concern across the board. I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't be happier with Brad Holmes, and it's nice. It's refreshing, I should say. We talk about ownership, head coaches, roster. I don't care really right now. That you have a GM in place, Jeff, that you can respect and trust. I'm okay with that. And if they take a quarterback at 2, am I going to sit up here that Friday morning upset? Yeah, I will be. Likely, I will be upset. But I won't be. What's the word I'm looking for here? I'm not going to be calling for Brad Holmes. I'm not going to be freaking out. You know what I'm going to sit here and say? All right, you got your guy. Here we go. Go time.
Well, and here's another thing that I liked out of Brad Holmes that we saw out of previous GMs. We didn't sit in there and pretend we were the smartest guys in the room anymore. And that's where the Lions got in trouble before. Like, we're going to take Jelani Tavai in the second round. And Mel Kiper's like, I don't even have notes on this guy. And we're like, oh, no, we're smarter than every football analyst ever. We know Jelani Tavai is going to be a good player. And I didn't get that vibe from Brad Holmes at all. It's like, no, we have a type of player that we want. We have a mindset that we want. And we have a physicality that we want. If these guys fit that, they're our guys.
He brought up something really interesting. And I love that this came out is our intention going into the draft last year was we were going to select Micah Parsons at 7. That was the Lions' mentality from Brad Holmes. They were going for Micah Parsons.
Yeah, they told him that and everything.
Penei Sewell fell. And that's why they had the celebration and the reaction they did. Because a player that in any other year, Penei Sewell, where does he go in this year's draft? Number 1 or number 2?
Jags.
Number 1.
Yeah, Jags want him.
Last year you had 5 quarterbacks. 5 quarterbacks drafted in the first round.
Yep.
I believe 4 in the top 10. 4 in the top 10.
Yep.
3 of the first 4 picks, I believe, were quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, 1, 2, and 3. Penei Sewell never falls, and I think that's why you got the reaction. And the fact that the kid not only stepped in, right away played left tackle phenomenally, by the way, after struggling at right tackle to start the year.
Played them both.
And then midway through the season, goes to right tackle and is just as impressive. The complete opposite of what you saw in preseason. I mean, I couldn't be happier. Total faith in Brad Holmes, but I think, Stick, it's fair to say we have 2 questions that still need to be answered. Can you draft the right quarterback? And do you have the right head coach? And not only do you have the right head coach, can you hire the right head coach?
If you don't, yeah.
Guys, the Minnesota GM, he was recently fired. He was a phenomenal talent evaluator. He drafted Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, Harrison Smith. It's not about just drafting now, right? I want to add some caution, just a friendly reminder. In this league, if you're a GM and you want to be successful, yes, you need to be able to draft talent. Of course, that's your job. It's not everything. You got to get the head coach right. You got to get the quarterback right. If you don't have either of them, it makes it extremely difficult to win in the NFL. You know it's not extremely difficult? To wake up every morning and have a nice little can of Cintron.
Oh, I can absolutely agree with you on that point. And Cintron, more on that. Cintron World is an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with not only that, but a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots. Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners with the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you are looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice. Buy online at cintronworld.com. Use the promo code RedWings10. Save 10% with shipping included. Remember, drink it, live it with Cintron.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Opinions are like ear holes, and we're putting ours in yours.
Well, that's not winning joint.
Sports.
And welcome back, top of the hour here on the Morning Woodward Show, 9 a.m. Thank you for joining us. Whether you're listening to us live on the Woodward Sports app, available, by the way, in the Apple and Android store, or you're tuning in watching my beautiful face and Jeff as well. Can we see Jeff? Look at him. Look at this guy. Well, you get to watch him every day on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Guys, you should see the amount of excessive OnlyFans requests we get in the DMs for Jeff. People want Jeff to start an OnlyFans.
That is true.
But speaking of OnlyFans, you know who I think should start an OnlyFans? Juwan Howard.
Oh, yeah.
All right, jokes aside. This is a bad joke, probably.
Not far off.
Look, Jay Williams, ESPN, just came out and said that he believes Juwan Howard should be suspended for the entire season. Your thoughts?
I actually kind of agree with him. And I think, and the reason why I agree with him is because we talked about this earlier, the timing of it. And if you're Ward Emanuel and you're looking at Juwan Howard and you're trying to evaluate the extent of how long he should be punished, what are they, about halfway through the season right now, almost over. The season's almost over.
They're like 80%, yeah.
So you're going to suspend Juwan Howard. You're probably going to miss the tournament. What's the point? I say suspend Juwan Howard. It's a lesson that he needs to be learned. I don't think he should be fired. I do think punishment needs to be acted upon, and I don't think it should be a couple game suspension. Like this is a guy and who gets paid this year. His salary is bumping up to $3.3 million for this season. So as the leader, as the head coach at Michigan for that basketball team, you have to be a leader for these young men, and he did the opposite. And him. Grown man slapping an assistant head coach. I don't care what the reasoning is. I get it. The coach was in the player's face. I get all the context. I mean, we need more stuff to come out. But the problem I have is Juwan Howard not admitting to it in the post-game press conference, not saying, listen, I messed up. I should have not lost my cool. I obviously put his players in a bad situation as well. It wasn't just Juwan. You had Diabate swinging. You had Williams swinging. Those guys are probably going to get suspended as well. So it's the point of it. And now you have a situation on your hands where Michigan completely shot their chances of doing anything. And now, not only that, but you embarrass your program. And I get it. Juwan's a former NBA player, so there's a difference. But here's the problem.
What's the difference? He's a coach now,
no,
right?
There you go.
He represents the university.
There you go.
Represents those.
He acted like a player, not as a coach. He was taking his head, yo, you're touching me. Okay, now you slap
Which is why if they fire him, I have no problem. Honestly.
I'm not going to say I have an issue, but I don't think he should be fired, but I won't have an issue with it. I mean, what am I going to argue?
I'm at 2 strikes with him now. That is the second time I've seen him act in a similar way. He cannot control his behavior. And I think what's worse, whether you want to admit it or not, they were losing that game.
They were.
And it was because they were losing and a timeout. It warrants that? Really? That is what justifies an altercation in today's world, huh? And you know what's funny? After the game, he didn't even apologize for it.
That's the problem.
You know what he said? Juwan Howard comes out after the game. Well, you know why? I didn't like what they did. I thought it was Bush League. He put his hands on me. I told him, don't put your hands on me. You sound like a child, Juwan. Don't put your hands on me. I'm an adult. I'm a grown man. Don't touch me. You are the leader of a basketball program for collegiate athletes. Athletes between the age of 18 and 23, 24, depends how late they stay into college. These are young adults, and that is what you taught them. Last night, what you displayed, Juwan Howard, is simple. You showed and you taught all of your basketball players, hey guys, you don't need to control yourself in tough environments. Sour grapes when we lose, no sportsmanship whatsoever. Basically passively threaten the opposing team head coach. No consequence, it's all good. That's not the guy I want leading my basketball program. You guys can jump on Izzo, grabbing, I don't care. You and your Michigan State fanboys, you can have fun at this. I don't care. Enjoy your banter. I really don't care this morning. My biggest frustration with Juwan Howard is he had zero self-awareness.
Zero. And zero accountability.
Look at the position you put those kids in. Mm-hmm. Jeff, what happens when there are quote-unquote upsets in college basketball? Fans typically storm the court.
Yes.
Those, like, a million things are going through my head when I see that. Who's fighting, right? Because you saw the punches being thrown after. Are there fans going to be jumping, running onto the court? These are all 18, 19, 20-year-olds.
And my first thing was how much security they have, like on deck.
Which wasn't much.
To handle not only both teams, but people coming from the stands. That was the worry I had.
If I got out of my chair right now, all right, let's say I got up.
Yeah.
I walked up to Stick and I punched him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be guarding him.
What do you think happens? Put it into perspective here. I'll put it in maybe an even better way. I am, I don't know, let's say I am the CEO of McDonald's. And I visit one of our locations, and I just punch one of the cashiers in the face. What do you think is going to happen to me? What do you think is going to happen to me? Forget the lawsuit. I'm probably going to get fired.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You just can't put your hands on people, guys. And don't give me well, he touched me first. You literally wagged your finger in front of the dude, and all he did was try to talk to you. Oh, excuse me, Juwan. He didn't shove you, say, hey, don't say that to me. He wasn't aggressive. He said, hey, Juwan, let me talk to you for a second. And then you escalated and continued to escalate. Yes. And then, of course, it got to the point where you needed to be held back. And then, of course, you make your way around everybody just to, give a little palm smack to the assistant coach.
Hey, I don't mind it. I honestly don't mind it, man. I know a lot of people want this dude fired. I know they want him out of here, but you know what? That's my coach. When Jim Schwartz was getting into it with Jim Harbaugh,
yeah, but he didn't punch anybody.
I loved it.
But he didn't punch anybody.
It's not our fault that Jim Schwartz is soft.
My issue, people are saying in the chat, how would you like it if someone put their hands on you? It's not the same thing. This isn't a Whole Foods. I'm not at Whole Foods looking for bread.
I'm not
someone
in the streets.
stops me and puts their hands on me.
I'm not fighting for my life every day. I am paid $2 million a year to coach a basketball team.
Keep your cool.
And to grow and educate young student athletes.
Just keep your cool.
Whose parents entrusted me to help their kids develop not only professionally on the court, but off the court. That is my job as the basketball head coach.
Yeah.
Also, his job is to teach those kids not to be punks.
Oh, Mike, he wasn't punked. He was punked. Dude, come on. Him walking
you gonna let a fat little white dude come up and put his hands on you?
How would you like it if I walked past you, right? Let's say we just coached the game, right? Let's say your team beat my team Stick by 20.
Yeah.
And I walked past you. You called a late timeout. And I walked past you and I put my
but you
finger,
were full court pressing.
I put my finger right in your face. And I said, Stick, I'll remember that. I'll remember that. And I just tried to walk past you because I'm not man enough to at least talk to you about it. You say, hey, whoa, say that, whoa, come here, let's talk. Whoa, what do you mean, Adam? What do you mean? All I did was this. You would have tried to explain yourself. Or does that justify me doing what he did last night? No, it doesn't. He wasn't getting punked. If anything, he punked himself, and he really showcased his true behavior.
It all goes back to saying, don't start nothing, won't be nothing.
He started it. He's the one who passive-aggressively threatened the coach. I mean,
think about it. If Adam, you stop me, you put your hands on me, and we get into an argument, and I slap you like a grown man, who's in trouble? You for stopping me, or me for literally slapping you across the head?
This is like
this
was a teaching moment. He not only was Juwan teaching his team, he was teaching the other coach about boundaries. You don't do that and expect not to get hands put on you, especially from a dude from Southside Chicago. Like, we were talking about similarities between cities. That is one place that is similar to Detroit. Southside Chicago, you run your mouth, you're getting hit. Detroit, you run your mouth, you're getting hit.
Yeah, this is a basketball team. This is the head coach who's paid, what, over $2 million a year?
Three.
So it's just different. We're not on 8 Mile and I don't know, whatever the hell we are. We're not in 8 Mile. We're
Damn right. He's lucky we ain't on 8 Mile.
I just think that's the point. I'm sorry. Look, maybe I'm.
It's not the
maybe I'm a bit too much.
I get it from Juwan in your point. Okay, we get his personality, his background. Like, he's obviously not going to take crap from anybody. But it's where he did it. You're in the middle of the court, and I get it. The guy stops you. He wants to speak to you. You don't want to have it. And honestly, in Juwan Howard's defense, if Greg Gard didn't stop him, Juwan would have just kept walking. I mean, he wouldn't have asked for any smoke. Juwan was trying to get out of there. The problem wasn't the argument. It was just the grown man slap. You can't grown man slap the assistant head coach. That is where you lose all credibility. If he didn't slap the head coach and they were just bickering, maybe he does have a case. Like, get out of Juwan's face, man. What are you doing? But the grown man...
Guys, this altercation, it went down like this. All right, let me try to explain this one more time. Maybe you understand. Juwan Howard walks by the Wisconsin head coach, points his finger like this. I'll remember that. The Wisconsin coach just puts his hand in front of Juwan Howard, tries to stop him. Hey, Juwan, let me explain what I did.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hey, Juwan, and look how he grabs the guy's shirt very aggressively. Right? Let's rewind that and play it back. He puts his hands on the Wisconsin head coach, and he grabs it like, I'm going to F you up, man. Here we go. Hey, Juwan, let me explain to you what's going on here, please.
Yeah, I ain't your son. You keep your damn hands off me. Look at him gripping up.
This isn't the street stick. This is college basketball, dude.
I know it's college basketball, but if somebody walks up to me and tries to restrain my arms,
well, then you guys shouldn't be basketball coaches, man. Hey, look, he grabs him physically. I'll mess you up, punk.
Yeah,
we're not in the streets. We're not in the streets. And look, man, I'm sorry.
The police are already there.
Look how calm the Wisconsin Tell me the Wisconsin head coach looks threatening to you guys. Tell me.
Wait, steak pause.
And look how he gets pulled away. He goes away just fine. Nobody has a problem here. It's Juwan Howard who actually needs to be restrained because he's the one escalating it.
This guy right here, pause. The guy, okay, you see the guy, the bald guy next to him in front of that guy, the blonde hair.
Yes.
That's the guy who was causing issues with the players. That's where Juwan slapped him. But still, you can't slap him, but that's where the slap comes in.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't get it. You got to keep your cool. You get paid $3 million to keep your cool. That's what it is.
You get paid $3 million to set an example.
Yeah.
And if that's the example you guys want, that's fine. Be my guest. We're all different. We can all have a different opinion.
I'm Rick James. What the 5 fingers say to the face? What?
That's not the guy I want leading my basketball program. If I'm an AD, that's unacceptable. And he has 2 strikes. This isn't the first time. This isn't like, oh my God, where'd that come out? That came out of nowhere. Juwan Howard has never done this before. No. It happened last year when they were winning. And it happened this year when they were losing. I see a pattern of behavior here.
It's
all good.
It's a little scary.
It really is. But you know what else is all good? The defense.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is.
Guardian Alarm.
And we talk about Juwan Howard full court pressing. With a minute left, well, Guardian Alarm, they're always going to get it. And good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. And not only that, Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, even detect smoke or carbon monoxide. It will even let you lock and unlock doors. Call 800-STAY-OUT today. That's 800-STAY-OUT.
Stay out, get away, get out.
Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families safe.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt cracked full of sand. You just just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers.
Monday, February 21st from 11 to 1 p.m. Join Woodward Sports and Big D Energy for the grand opening of the Berkeley Chili Peppers Tanning on Woodward between 11 and 12 Mile. Come hang and join the Pepper Club. Best deals on unlimited tanning.
Just need a little chili peppers, man.
Adham and Jeff have great hair. Their sports opinions are pretty good too.
That's why Sewell fell to you. Ding ding.
MWS Live on Woodward Sports.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm sure you're all wondering, well, where's Maddie? She is unfortunately sick today. She'll be back tomorrow, though. The crew will be back together. But let's get into another woman who we need to talk about this morning. Sheila Ford Hamp. Now, this has been, I think, the center of conversation now, especially after Anthony Lynn came on the Woodward Sports Network last week on The Bottom Line.
Go check it out.
They discussed with him his experience with the Lions, ownership, and he really had a lot of positive things to say about Sheila Ford Hamp and how they're operating. Now, does that mean they're going to win the division, Super Bowl? No. But how much are you buying into that Sheila Ford at least deserves a clean slate moving forward? And how much are you buying into that? You know what? She wasn't responsible during the Patricia Quinn years. I'm willing to look past it. And even if you're like me, right? And I'll share my opinion very, very clearly right now, just to get it on the books. Sheila Ford sat up with Rod Wood and her mother, Martha, and they sat up there and they, together, including Sheila, which means she is just as responsible, and she did a majority of the talking in that conference, was win now mode. We're going to educate these guys. We're going to reevaluate them at the end of the season, but we're expecting winning football now, going into the draft. And we all know what happens after. Okuda, they suck, fired, bye, new regime, all right. That is part of Sheila's story. But Jeff, does she deserve a clean slate to work with moving forward, given how well Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, and everybody really seem to be working together inside of the building?
I think she deserves one. And you brought it up already. Hiring Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, this should be a new, not only regime, but a chance for us to kind of evaluate Sheila Ford Hamp. And I get it. She was a part of the ownership forever with her parents, but now she's making decisions. And one thing I always looked at this year is, are you going to, repair the relationship with Kelvin Johnson? And so far, he's been back in the building. It's looked better. And that's really all you can ask for with Sheila Ford, is just make this organization respectable again. And that's what Anthony Lynn talked about. Go check it out. It's on our YouTube, actually, the interview with Anthony Lynn. And he talked about, before coming to the Lions, he knew about the aura of the Lions. He knew what it was, the same old Lions. He said when he came here, though, he was very impressed. And first thing he mentioned, ownership. He was impressed with Sheila Ford Hamp, and that's something. Anthony Lynn's a respectable guy, and I get it. You're going to talk highly about any former organization you're a part of, but the fact that he brought that up first and he noticed it's different. The ownership is different. I think Sheila Ford deserves a clean slate, not only considering who she brought in, but moving forward. Can you look at the Jeff Okudah draft? Yes, and you could blame the Fords. Why would you let this guy draft knowing he was going to be on his way out? And I get all of that, but now it's a clean slate. Clean slate meaning this year and on.
Can I ask you something?
That's
then?
fair to do.
So I think it's fair to say that the Fords obviously have sucked for 58 years. I don't think this is new information. I'm not telling you something you don't know. Okay? I talked about leadership under Dan Campbell. And again, it's nothing to do with wins and losses. But I think we can actually agree that he showed some tremendous leadership midway through the season to basically fire Anthony Lynn, take over play calling duties. The team actually gets better. They promote Ben Johnson. I mean, they've done a lot of good things, in my opinion, that good franchises do. Now, again, are they winning football games right now? No, they're not. They're a 3-13-1 football team last I checked. But I think you're more confident in the way they go about their business right now than they have in previous years. I think that's also fair to say. Now, does she get a clean slate? I'm not a believer in that. No, I don't. I don't think she gets a clean slate because from the moment you took over, I started evaluating you. And that doesn't mean I have a complete answer or that I'm judging or that I think they should sell the team. No, not at all. I think that's nonsense. But what I will say is I think she is doing a better job than those prior to her. And that isn't saying much, obviously, because they've sucked. But I think she's doing a better job, and I think you have to at least acknowledge, you know what? She has the GM making good decisions. Now, I may not agree with the president and Rod Wood, but again, that's a family tie. I can't do anything about this, guys. But what I can say is that over the last 12 months, I've been impressed with some of the ways and some of the things that the Fords, especially Sheila, along with the GM, the head coach, have done. I think they run a much smoother operation in terms of day-to-day ops. It seems to me like the GM and head coach are getting along just fine. And it seems to me she's backing off and allowing football people to make football decisions. Isn't that what you always wanted, Detroit? So I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt in terms of, well, you know what? Just judging her off of Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, I think things have been smooth so far. Now, does that result in winning? No, it doesn't, obviously, guys. And I'm going to be the first one to sit here and say, if they win 2-3 football games next year, they're not going to like what I'm going to have to say about them. But that's a year from now. I don't have to do this at all. I actually don't. Right now, what I see is a clear direction, a more complete vision. Does it map out to winning? I don't know how the future plays out, guys. I can't predict the future. But what I can tell you is, for the first time, we can all agree here, you're confident in the GM you have. And you know what? Even if you're not confident in the head coach, you still don't know his ceiling, which means you don't move off of him. So you still have questions that can be answered by this head coach, good or bad. I'm not a believer that she gets a clean slate, but I would say I've been impressed with how the Lions have operated the last 12 months.
Can I ask you this? And Tammy brought this. I'm so glad she did. Can we give Sheila partial credit for, you talk about the Lions being the team that ruins people's careers. You talk about Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson. Can we give her credit for allowing Matthew to pursue her trade? And
Absolutely she can get credit. But if I give her credit for that, can you guys criticize her for putting Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, who you all knew were hot garbage at the time, on the hot seat and allowed them to select Jeff Okudah number 3 overall? Because you told them they have to win now. If you believed in them, you would give them a long-term vision, a long-term project. She didn't. She didn't know what to do at the time. I don't care what the excuse is. Horrible decision. Justin Herbert, and even if you like Tua, I don't care. Justin Herbert.
I think, though, she made up for that mistake.
Yes,
and she realized
but you have to admit
by letting
she at
them
least
go
made
early.
one, right?
Yeah, she did. But just like Dan Campbell may have made a mistake by hiring Anthony Lynn, he moved off it
Corrected
quickly.
it, right?
And that's what I want to see out of my leadership. And you know what? I think she realized, oh man, I kind of did put these guys out on an island. She was going to give them the rest of the season, then popped them. What was that week
15, I believe, or 14.
14. Yeah,
I think
Bevel took over.
between 13 and 14, somewhere along those lines.
So I like that. Even though she made a mistake, no one's perfect. Fix your damn mistake.
Thank you. And I think that's the point, though, because clean slate. What is a clean slate? I disregard the past? No. I know, and it's actually good to talk about her past. You know why? Because just like Stick just said, you know what? She made a mistake. She moved off it right. She moved off it right away. Great. That's what I want from my leaders. I want my leaders to acknowledge mistakes, move on. Here's how we're going to go moving forward. Great.
So I'm not even cool on giving her a clean slate. Like I'm just happy that our slate's looking good. To me, she doesn't have a clean slate. Like she's already proven to me some good. She's proven to me that when it's bad, she'll try to make it good. So clean slate means we're starting at 0. She actually already built up equity with me.
Yeah,
I like that.
I mean, the Brad Holmes hire has made everybody look and feel better, I think, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, again, you have questions about Brad Holmes, though. You have to. And I think you're ignorant if you don't ask these questions. I really do. Can he get the head coach right? Is the guy in the building the right guy? We don't know this. Seasons need to play out before you can make that call, right? Mm-hmm. And can he draft a quarterback? The quarterback. The right guy. That, my friends, is going to sum up Brad Holmes. Not that he's hitting on draft picks. That's only part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's only part of the game. But I'll tell you what's always part of my game, especially I should say my pregame, Gypsy Vodka. Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest and best tasting vodka on the market right now, guys. Check them out. Locally owned and operated up in Petoskey, Michigan. Guys, Gypsy Vodka, also known as Michigan's Vodka, is gluten-free. Check them out. Ask for it by the name of Gypsy. And as always, please, my friends, drink responsibly.
I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 five-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
YouTube, Woodward Sports is there. Facebook, Woodward Sports is there. IG, TikTok, Spotify, Google Play, app, radio. Woodward Sports is everywhere. Make sure you follow, like, download, and listen anywhere.
Ooh, and we got 400, around almost 400. Now it's 3.
What up? What up?
It's a good Monday.
Jeff.
Views are looking good today.
How are you doing, Jeff?
Doing good. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Seriously, on a Monday.
I love you, Jeff.
Slap that damn like button.
I got sleep last night.
I hate you, Fish.
Look at Fish. Bring up Cleveland again, Fish.
No, please don't. Listen, I want to bring up Anthony Lynn again one more time. So he made another comment, by the way, and that he believed the Detroit Lions can win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff.
He did say that.
Jeff?
Listen, Anthony Lynn, to his credit, he did say you can win with Jared Goff, and his reasoning was, and you're going to hate this. I know.
Oh, don't worry. I'm ready. That's why I'm letting you go first. Because once I start, I'm not stopping.
Because he said you can win with Jared Goff because he took the Rams to the Super Bowl already. And listen, let me calm everyone down before Adam starts, because we know how Adam feels, and I agree with him 100%. With Jared, I like Jared, and I've always said this. He's a guy who can keep you afloat. But in my opinion, you don't have a quarterback part of your franchise you can win with. You have a quarterback you can win because of. And that's what I look for in a quarterback. I don't think Jared Goff's never going to win a Super Bowl because of Jared Goff. He's going to win a Super Bowl because of the team around him. Now, is that a bad thing? You could win in the NFL with quarterbacks. 49ers have done it with Jimmy G. You saw the Titans do it. They won the AFC this year with Ryan Tannehill. But what happened come postseason? Well, Ryan Tannehill threw 4 interceptions, and Jimmy G threw a game-sealing interception at the end of that 49ers game. So to my point, and to Adam's point he's about to make, you need to have a quarterback you can win because of. And Adam, you can go ahead and explain. I don't get, and I respect him for giving credit to Jared Goff, but we all know the reasoning. Like, it's not true. You can't win because of Goff. It can't happen. Absolutely not.
Anthony Lynn, this is why you got fired in the NFL.
No.
Jared Goff. You can win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. If the Rams can do it, so can the Lions.
Yes, they can, Beydoun.
Look, I will say, because I'm not going to slander Jared Goff this morning. I actually think he's pretty decent. I think he's average. I think he's an average quarterback. I think he's better. I think he's better next year than any quarterback coming out in this draft class, right?
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Now, is he your elites, your Matthew Stafford, your Russell Wilson, your Aaron Rodgers? Is he in that top 10 conversation? Hell no. He's somewhere between 18 and 25, roughly, ranked in terms of quarterbacks in the NFL. But he's not even Jimmy G. I thought the Jimmy G comparison, I think it's off. I think it's off because Jared Goff, I think they both win, yes, with better surroundings, but Jimmy G is, he's no pushover. He's no slouch, you know? They run a certain offense out in San Francisco, and I'm excited to see him go somewhere else. Maybe Denver, maybe Pittsburgh. But
yeah,
Jared Goff, can you win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff? No. No, I don't. And that's not Jared Goff's only. It's not only on him, right? To win a Super Bowl, it's a team game.
Exactly.
But do you have a guy that can carry you there, right? Can win you games you probably have no business winning, right? Mm-hmm. Because in the NFL, we all know it's not a perfect game. Every game doesn't go according to plan. You have to go off script. Do you have a guy that can make plays for you like that? And Jared Goff has proven over his career that he's not that guy. And outside of the one magical run year with the LA Rams, where, if I have to remind you, during that postseason run, he only threw 1 touchdown. Since then, he's regressed. And he's become this turnover fumbling machine that is good at times, really good, and then really bad. Sounds like Kirk Cousins to me, Ryan Tannehill to me. And again, is he... Here's how I would phrase it, and Stick, I would like to know what you think. Is he a franchise quarterback? Jeff? Franchise quarterback, quote unquote. Yes or no?
I would say yes, because there's levels. You could still
He's a franchise quarterback? He's a guy you want for your football team for the next 10, 12, 14 years?
He's not a Justin Herbert, but again...
Well, that's what the hell we're talking about.
Is Jimmy G a franchise quarterback?
No.
No, he's not, but he's someone you can win with.
You can win. You can win with Kirk Cousins.
Okay, franchise.
He has a 500 record.
Franchise, in my opinion, someone you can have on your team, and you can keep him on your team. It depends what a team wants. In my opinion, I want Justin Herbert. I want those types of franchise
guy, what I mean by that is you can pay him and you can still figure out how to win games.
No. He's not Russell Wilson. He's not Justin Herbert. No, he's not.
And look, I don't need him to be that. Like you said, you don't need Jared Goff to be Matthew Stafford, to be Russell Wilson. No, you don't. You can win games with him. He is a good quarterback. That is not the conversation here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a limit, right? And I just want to name a few examples. With 1:25 left, if Joe Burrow, granted, he was being mauled by Aaron Donald.
And he didn't have an MCL.
If Joe Burrow can't lead his team downfield, right, in a Super Bowl, does Jared Goff do that? Does Jared Goff take that team down with 1:25 and win the game? How are you shaking your head yes?
Oh, 100% he does.
I'll take it a step further. Let's look at the last 10 years. Who's won the Super Bowl? How about that? Can we go there?
Can't do this.
In 2010, you had Drew Brees. 2011, you had Aaron Rodgers. I'll give you 2012. You had Eli Manning. Big upset. You had 2013. Okay. You had Joe Flacco. I'll give you that. And then after that, let's look at the last slate of Super Bowls. Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and then, of course, you have Matthew Stafford. So again, like it's hard to win in the NFL, let alone you have to be a guy you win because of. And you could be Matt Ryan, you can get to the Super Bowl. You can be, Cam Newton, he got to the Super Bowl.
I think the point you guys are missing here is, does Jared Goff give you a significant advantage over a majority of the quarterbacks in the NFL in this league? No, he doesn't.
Because every winner's been a franchise quarterback. Most of them.
What advantage
majority,
does it give you?
So if you say majority, that means he's got to be a top 15 guy.
I don't think he's top 15 right now.
You think he's sitting right about 15?
I said earlier he's between 18 and 23 to me. But he's regressed these last few years, right? So it's kind of tough to put him there because 4 years ago, I think, the conversation was he's elite.
Oh, after that game against Patrick Mahomes, it was, these are the next two young guns in the NFL. Yeah, no, I get all that. I just have a really rough time judging him on this season in Detroit because, like, we had the beginning of the season, right? And that was just an awful, awful, awful display of football all the way around. But by the end of the season, Dan Campbell had taken over the play calling. And when Dan Campbell was calling plays and Jared Goff was healthy, the Lions were 3-1-1. So if I go off that small sample size, he could be the guy.
I think that's the conversation we're having. You can win with Jared Goff. I don't think that's the issue. I am telling you guys, you can win with Jared Goff. You can probably get to the playoffs. Hell, if it goes your way, you can probably win a division if you have the right team and the right head coach. But do you have all those answers right now?
And that's
do you know if your head coach?
Are we back to the Stafford conversation, though? Because that was the conversation with Matthew Stafford while he was here. Well, if we just had a running game. Well, if the O-line was there. Well, if the defense was there. Well, if the OC.
Well, you're missing the main thing, the head coach and the GM, right? Because to get all those things, you need those two guys. He goes to LA in 1 year. I think he's proven that with that, he can do it. Now, is he the savant, the best quarterback of all time? Hell no. Is he top 5? Hell no. He's not one of those guys. No. But that's the NFL. Brady is an anomaly. Don't compare him to Brady. He's not comparable to Brady. Nobody is. He's the best quarterback to ever live. Can you win with Jared Goff? Yes, you can. But do you know right now if Dan Campbell is that guy? No, you don't. You have to wait and see. Brad Holmes, you feel like he is, but we need another draft and another one, and this roster still needs to be built and put together. So my thing is, with Jared Goff, you can win with him next year, and I'd say you'd keep him throughout I say you keep him for the end of the contract unless you draft a quarterback, obviously, and you want to move off him. But is he a franchise guy? I don't think so. I really don't.
No.
But I want to shift gears here for a little bit. We have a few minutes before we got to go to break. Cancel culture. I had to bring this up. You guys know it.
It's the worst thing that humanity has sent to, or social media has given us.
So look, I don't want to get into why, things happen, but I have a question for all of you, and I want all of you to answer. Why is it that when people are successful, or, something happens to them and they're, in front of the public for the first time,
gotta look at their prior tweets,
that the first thing we do is we backlog 5, 6, 7, 10 years to try to find anything we can on them to make them look like a horrible human? Huh? How does that make sense? Tell me. How does it make sense? What do you get out of it? What do you get about what gets you off on going on Annie Agger's account? So I'll use her as an example, obviously, because she's the most recent.
What gets me off about going on Annie Agger's account?
Whoa, careful. Think.
The people get attention.
It's not about attention. No, this doesn't seem to me like it's attention.
It is
to me,
attention.
I am a loser. I have nothing going for me in my own life. So I'm just going to spend my days on Twitter trying to find the worst in people.
But it's attention, because if you find it and post it, you're like a hero now.
No, you're not.
Not a hero, but you're bringing someone else
Here,
negative
so-
attention.
You're a hero to some people.
No,
Some
you're
people
not. No, you're
yes,
not. No,
some people think they're great. Like people that found Kelly Smiley's tweet, people are like,
But no
oh
one's
my
saying
God.
the guy who found Kelly Smiley's tweet's a hero. Like,
Nobody cares.
Everyone just looks at
Look.
Kelly Smiley and criticizes her. That's the point.
What I see is that our true selves, our human behavior, has been exposed by social media for what it truly is, which is jealousy, envy, and really we're just all scumbags of humans. That's what I've noticed. So I can't go a weekend without people, quote unquote, getting canceled. You're trying to cancel Joe Rogan, you idiots.
Oh, they cancel every day. You go cancel people.
I just don't get it. I don't get how our instincts are to dig up tweets from 2013 and say this person, quote unquote, isn't good enough. Really? Are you perfect? No, you're not. Am I? No, I'm not. Jeff isn't, Stick isn't, Fish isn't. There's not a person in this world that is perfect.
No.
And we're out here judging people for things they said when they were teenagers? Great, that's fine. It's not nice what they said. I can't disagree there. Yeah, you go ahead and cancel them. What the hell? What kind of world are we living in, Stick? Well, we're so soft.
And I read her tweets, and, like, listen, what she said probably wasn't ideal, but they weren't, like, straight up blatant racism, and it was just stupidity of a young girl trying to get attention. But what surprises me most about this cancel culture thing is the rage only lived on Twitter. Because if you went to her, because I after I saw her trending and all that stuff, I went on Twitter, saw people bashing her, posting all her tweets, and then I go to Instagram because I wanted to see what the response was in her comments there. Nobody mentioned it. So, like, it's just the Twitter world is all about cancel culture.
Well, that's where she's most famous, technically.
Yeah, but
I know
go
on
to
Instagram.
But nobody was even mentioning it in her comments, and you would expect there to be some attrition from platform to platform.
Did she take her Instagram page down, Stick?
She didn't take anything down, which I'm really happy for. And I don't think she's deleted
No,
the
she
tweets
took her
yet
Twitter
either.
down. She did. Her Twitter's down.
No, it isn't.
It is. Her Twitter's down.
Annie's?
Oh, no, not her.
Shut the hell
Kelly
up, Fish.
Smiley.
Yeah, we're talking about Annie.
Oh, no, yeah, we're talking about...
Nobody cares about the smelly girl, whatever her name is.
Smelly.
Jesus Christ.
Well, she was
She
under
ties
attack
into
for
this, but it's
cancel
more
culture.
concerned on Annie. We got to discuss Annie.
I don't get it. Like,
yeah.
What? Go pull up my 2013 Twitter feed.
Well, don't say...
You don't even want to see it. Seriously, and I mean, it doesn't exist now, which is kind of crappy.
There's
but
a function that you can do to search your Twitter and go back
Can you?
and find
What
all
is it?
that. I'll have to look it up after the show, but Choff used to show it to me where you could just put in a keyword and it will search all your tweets for those keywords.
Oh, that I know
so
how
if you
to
put
do,
in,
but, like, how do I
blah, blah,
recover
blah,
an old
colon and the word black to make sure that you didn't say anything stupid about black people because you were stupid back then. Like, you can go through and edit your stuff, but it still exists. It's just not there in your timeline anymore, so people can find it. It's really crazy, and it's really just, it shows people, man, social media is awesome, but you got to be held accountable for what you put out to the universe as well.
I don't mind the accountability, but when we demand people to lose their jobs or you shouldn't have a platform, really? Who the hell are you? Who the hell are you to say any of this? Who? You guys are nobodies. You guys are nobodies. You can't cancel people. Look, for example, right? I believe she had a tweet, Stick, and I'm pretty sure it was about Colin Kaepernick, right? Did she say anything vulgar? No, she didn't. She disagreed with it. Am I going to hate her for that?
Her point was, how do you hate an organization that gives you the platform to do this? And that was a lot of people's stance against Colin Kaepernick.
So why is her so wrong?
Let's call a spade a spade. Like, Twitter's pretty a liberal platform, right? Like that's what it is. And she's a conservative from the west side of Michigan. So I think that's a part of the reason why she was getting attacked too, because she has conservative views.
Yeah. Again, it's funny how people change their tune with you when they figure out your political views. It's so funny how small-minded we are. Like, I don't care what your political views are. Do we vibe? Do we have a good relationship? Do I like you? Are we friends? Cool. I don't care.
Twitter does.
Huh?
Twitter does.
Twitter does, because Twitter's full of stupid people. It's just beyond me. And again, look, is what Kelly, what's her name? Kelly Smiley, is what she said nice or appropriate? No, it isn't. So what? You just let her? All right, yeah. She had it coming. She fractured her back.
It's the only reason why you know who she is. You didn't care up until then. The same with Annie. You guys, you choose. You choose how to think. You choose what to see. And I feel like social media just exposes people for what they really are.
Oh, yeah.
Which is insensitive, small-minded people. We're so dumb. We really are. We're not only obese in this country, we're actually stupid.
But also remember, if you're on social media, text is so much harder to interpret than me and you speaking. Because I could say exactly what she said, but I could say it with compassion and you could understand where I'm coming from. But if you read something in text, it's your interpretation of the depth and the anger and how they're saying those things. So that's where I think, you just got to be careful what you put in print that can be screenshotted.
I'm okay with saying you need to be more responsible with what you put out. You need to be held, quote-unquote, accountable for what you said. But how do you want me to hold somebody accountable for what they said 9 years ago when none of you cared? Guys, you want to start this with me? I don't think so. You know why? Go look at your current president and see what he said 20 years ago. Go. I'll let you know what it starts with. Letter N. Go.
Oh, God.
Go YouTube it. Go search it. Go find your current president. And then talk to me about some girl on Twitter. You guys are so fake, it's unbelievable. The same people you criticize, you defend the same person. It's unbelievable. And one of them has dementia. It's a joke, man.
That's my president.
Our president has dementia. I can't believe this. I can't believe I'm lucky enough to be alive to witness this stuff. Anyways, you know what else I'm lucky to have? My bookie. Because they give me the best odds, the best bets. And to be honest with you, they have some creative prop bets. They really do. And I love it. My bookie is the place to be placing your bets this March Madness, guys. Bet from anywhere, anytime using my bookie. Sign up today if you haven't already using code Woodward. Again, that's code Woodward. They'll match you dollar for dollar. You put in $100, they'll match you $100. You put in $200-$300, they'll match you with $200-$300. Guys, take advantage of my bookie's dollar for dollar match using code Woodward. Take advantage of it. Adham sent you. Use code Woodward. Everybody's happy. And please, please, I can't stress this enough. If you do have a gambling problem, please seek help. Call the Gambling Problem Hotline at 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show. Fish, I swear to God, if you could just let me get through one commercial break without dying, that would be great. How's everybody doing this morning? 9:41. Now 9:42. Time quickly changes. We got to get into our 5 takeaways from the NFL season. And my first one, Jeff, I think is a big one. I think the most important one.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL is king. It always has been. But my goodness, the playoff run you watched at home had to have been one of, if not the greatest we've ever seen. Some of the best football we've ever seen. The NFL is not only king, it is why every sports media outlet covers it 80-90% of the time. It's the greatest sport in this country. Fish, this is for you. It is the greatest sport in the world. There's nothing like it.
Oh, there
Jeff?
absolutely is. It's not the greatest sport in the world. It's up there.
You can't just let us have anything, can you, Fish?
No, I'll let you have some things.
Like?
The NFL is more global than any other sport in America. It's NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLB. Actually, MLB's up there, too. That's a toss-up. And NFL's up there.
I can't have anything
as far as
stick.
the world playing
Welcome to the show. I can't go 2 hours without him letting me have anything.
Then I'll shut my mic off.
All right, well, that's my first
All right.
takeaway, Jeff. Give me yours.
My first takeaway is Matthew Stafford is elite. That is mine. And it was the big year for him individually, not considering the numbers. Yes, he led the NFL in picks, but he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and he's undefeated in the playoffs in one season. He was 0-3, 12 years with the Detroit Lions. And in 1 year, not only has he shown me he can win a Super Bowl, but he's shown me he can be a big reason why they win a Super Bowl. You can talk about Aaron Donald making plays at the end of the game. I can give you that. But yeah, I can also give Matthew Stafford 2 games where he had a last-minute fourth-quarter drive, and he was 14-0 in the playoffs, in the fourth quarter. So I think my takeaway was Matthew Stafford's elite. And, I mean, a lot of us have talked about it, but with a good team, he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. That's my takeaway.
Well, you kind of took one of them, but I'll kind of pivot off your point. So Matthew Stafford is elite.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams were the best team, not only in the NFL, I think executively. The decisions they made are why they're hosting a Lombardi Trophy. And look, guys, I know Matthew Stafford's part of the conversation. It's polarizing. Everyone wants to talk about it. But just look at it from an outsider's point of view. How would you feel if the Detroit Lions were that all in, that they went and upgraded at quarterback? They sacrificed the next 2 years of first-round picks. They go midseason and acquire Odell Beckham Jr. in free agency. They go and trade for Von Miller. Where's that? For me, the Rams were years, miles ahead of the rest in the NFL. They were so committed to the foundational goal. Everybody talks about wanting to win a Super Bowl. Very few teams go about their business that way. The Rams were all in, and look, to your point, Matthew Stafford is elite. He is. You can't not have that conversation anymore. Going into the season, I think rightfully so. People questioned him as a quarterback. Could he deliver in the big games? Now that he has, this conversation is over with. He's not only elite, he's not only a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but he did everything the narrative said he couldn't. Move on. One of my bigger takeaways is the AFC. The AFC will be the greatest conference for the next 10 to 12 years. And I don't see it changing.
You said the AFC?
The AFC.
Took my point. I was going to bring it up. I'm glad you did.
Well, I'll just name the names and you can tell me why.
All right. Let's
Justin Herbert.
That's going to be a problem.
Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen. Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan, but Lamar Jackson. You got quarterbacks that will be drafted into the AFC in the coming years. Aaron Rodgers may be traded there. Jimmy G may be going there. AFC is stacked, Jeff.
It is. And you had Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes have a battle for all the show. And then the next series, you have Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. And now next year, you're going to have Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. You're going to have more quarterbacks in the mix. Who knows what Trey Lance is going to – oh, no, he's in the NFC, excuse me. Who knows what they're going to do over with the Chargers. They went 9-8 this season, expected they're going to make a jump. So you have Justin Herbert in the playoffs. My God. AFC is it's a bloodbath. It is. And I'm glad you mentioned it. That's a takeaway. I was going to name my other takeaway is I found a newfound appreciation for Tom Brady. That was my takeaway.
Really?
Yes, because now he's gone, and watching him all this season at the age of 44 effing years old to lead the league in touchdowns, passing yards, and to be number 2 in QBR, losing a lot of his receivers. I mean, Chris Godwin was out. Mike Evans was out for multiple weeks. He had AB and Gronkowski, and he essentially put up Madden numbers. So, you know what? I found a newfound appreciation. I've always appreciated Tom Brady, but for him to walk away in the fashion, especially the game he lost, they almost came back and went into overtime. Man, I've always appreciated Tom, but I found a newfound appreciation now that he's gone. That's my takeaway from the season.
All right. Well, here's, I think, where things get super interesting. One of my bigger takeaways is that the NFL is just heading towards, guys, you play Madden, I'm sure. Jeff just brought up Tom Brady putting up Madden numbers. Just expect it for years to come. It's going to get easier and easier for wide receivers. There's not a corner that can shut down a wide receiver over a course of a season. It's just so hard. Yes, you have your Patrick Surtains, your Jalen Ramseys, but even then, it's not a guarantee. And not only is it not a guarantee, Jeff, I want to go back on your point. Matthew Stafford is elite. I don't think that's the conversation. I'll tell you why. I think Matthew Stafford was always an elite quarterback. I just don't think he could showcase it in Detroit. Some his fault. He had his moments. He had his opportunities clearly in 2014, right? I think it's fair to say 2014 was a big disappointment. But 1 year out of 12, he was given something to work with. In 2011, you weren't complaining when he carried that roster to the playoffs. Oh, 2016? It was a playoff year, right? 9-7 Caldwell, 8 game winning drives, fourth quarter comebacks. Were you complaining then? I don't think so. And the point is, there's not a you guys name me one quarterback that's elite without a very good to great head coach. Go find me one. Go find me one. Mike McCarthy's a Super Bowl winning quarterback as much as I don't like him. Or excuse me, head coach. As much as I don't like him. Aaron Rodgers. Mike Holmgren, Brett Favre. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. Joe Montana. Oh my God, how am I forgetting this head coach's name right now? Help me, Stick. Niners coach, great, legend. What's wrong with me?
Which one?
Bill Walsh.
Mike Shanahan? Oh.
No, Bill Walsh. Mike Shanahan, John Elway. You show me the great quarterbacks, I'll show you a coach. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. Now, McDermott is up and coming, but I think you all consider him a very good coach. It's not like he's a scrub. Josh Allen. Guys,
I don't get it. I really don't.
All it took was it took one year.
Season.
Took one season for the guy to leave the worst franchise, which you say, not just me, you say is the worst franchise in the NFL. He leaves for one season, and he delivers everything, but we're still like talking about it, really?
No, and I listen.
And trying to discredit it?
And me and my guy Brandon, we're talking about Stafford in the chat, and I gotta address Brandon because Brandon, he's pretty hard-headed, and he's talking about you can't name a single quarterback in NFL history that is elite who went 11 years without a playoff win. I mean, I could name lazier takes, but that's a pretty lazy take.
No, I mean, no. Listen,
it's true. I get he wasn't true. No, hold on. And I'm not saying no one said he's elite in Detroit. No one's saying that. You could talk about not winning games in Detroit. Okay, I'll give you that. He wasn't elite. For you to say he's not elite now, I'm not going to argue with you. I can't. I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, the guy.
He was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL during his 12 years here.
What do you want?
He leaves for one season. He's the fewest. He's the least sacked quarterback, or one of. All right. And not only that, he actually doesn't have a run game, which we always said he needed to have, by the way, to win. But he finally actually has a defense. And last I checked, that 2014 defense you guys love to preach about, when they played winning teams with winning records.
What happened?
They were middle of the pack, I believe 20 or 21st overall.
And Stafford doesn't get exempt from that blame. I get that.
No, he deserves blame.
He does.
But we're so naive. What? He had one roster in 12 years. Okay?
Whoop-de-doo!
You weren't complaining in 2011. You weren't complaining in 2016. Like, what is it? What is it? 2014, he deserved a crap ton of blame. He really did. He totally underdelivered. He got the ball back just like Burrow did against Dallas. He did nothing with it. We got to go to break. I want to continue this when we get back. I don't understand what's so hard for you guys to understand. We got to go to break, but before we do, I got to tell you guys about Planet Fitness. Let me tell you about Planet Fitness, the new studio sponsor for the Woodward Sports Network. Your fitness is essential this year, guys. Mental and physical health. Sign up for Planet Fitness today. $0 down, $10 a month. Enjoy their judgment-free working environment. Ladies and gentlemen, Planet Fitness is where it's at. Again, that's $0 down, $10 a month. Please take it from me as someone who this year has been taking their own personal physical and mental health serious. You should do it as well. Your fitness is essential. Guys, it's Planet Fitness. Visit them at planetfitness.com.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
And today marks the grand opening of the Chili Peppers Tanning Salon's new location between 12 and 13 Mile Road and Woodward in Berkeley. Big D Energy, live from 11 to 1 today at Chili Peppers Tanning Salon. Their grand opening, D-Mac, Neil, Sawyer, Terry, the crew is going to be down there today. Stick and Joey will be down there as well. Come by, check them out. Check out Chili Peppers Tanning Salon. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, all from Chili Peppers Tanning Salon, guys. Their grand opening again in Berkeley today. Check them out. Big D Energy will be live from 11 to 1. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's mailbag time. Obviously, we'll get to all your questions, but I do want to start or at least continue from our previous conversation.
And can we just address, not questions, let's turn this into statements.
Forget statement. I want to pivot this in a different direction because I think you need to hear this side.
Okay. And then we'll get to these people in the chat.
What was John Elway before Mike Shanahan and Terrell Davis?
Wasn't what he is now. A Hall of Famer considered as. But you needed those guys.
Now, again, different situations, right? Because Elway played for winning teams. Stafford only played on 3 winning teams.
Right.
That got to the postseason. 3-12. 3 in 12 years. And the problem with having this conversation is you may think I'm just trying to defend all the 12 years. I'm actually not.
No one is.
He actually deserves criticism fairly, but it isn't the majority. It isn't even 10%.
No.
Barely, if any. Because you never had a GM. You never had a head coach. You let Ndamukong Suh walk out of the door without even franchise tagging him. You passed on Aaron Donald. I mean, do I really have to go over all those years? You weren't complaining in 2011 when he played his first full season.
Mm-hmm.
He took you to the playoffs. 40 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. You weren't complaining then. You complained in 2014. I think it's fair, but the team fell apart after. And in 2016, he carries everybody to the postseason. Then what? We're just telling a different story here.
We are.
And I think we're just looking at it from different point of views. It's not that I have to respect somebody's opinion. But you can't have an opinion that is no longer true. It's not an opinion, right? It's not an opinion that he's an elite Super Bowl winning quarterback now. That is a fact. That's it. It's done with. It's done with. 1 year of success doesn't make him elite. You're acting as if he had a Joe Flacco run, Nick Foles, where he was carried. He won them the game in Tampa Bay. He won them the game in San Francisco. He won them the game.
And for people who are saying, he almost threw a pick. I know he threw the early pick.
Jalen Ramsey dropped 2
there
pick sixes.
There you go.
Nobody talks about that
it's
either.
It's only when it's convenient for
Tom
their
Brady
argument.
won a Super Bowl because his defense sacked Patrick Mahomes 5-6 times and pressured him 15-16 times. Nobody talks about that.
Did Matthew have an interception up until the NFC Championship game
no,
against a very good defense?
He had one all postseason going into the Super Bowl. One with the second interception was a punt, and the third one went through the receiver's hands. What do you want me to do?
Then what is the argument? I'm not understanding.
It's just we're not willing to move on and accept that, all right, you know what? We didn't build around this guy. We didn't give him a head coach that he needed. And yeah, he's not a top 10 quarterback. But what quarterback has ever carried their way through coaches and coaches and coaches outside of Brady and Manning? Who in your lifetime has ran through multiple coaches? What's up, Stick?
Oh, my bad.
I was so confused. I thought he was making a face.
I was trying to figure something out over here.
He's doing a stick.
Well, you look great doing it.
Thanks, man. That's me concentrating, trying to make sure you guys look good.
I love it.
I love it.
I'm texting the guy behind you in the car.
Elite. See, this is where you guys lose me. It's Trent Dilfer elite. No, he's not. Trent Dilfer is not as talented as Matthew Stafford. Didn't have the career Matthew Stafford had. And Trent Dilfer didn't win the games Matthew Stafford just won right in front of your very eyes. Trent Dilfer got carried by that Baltimore defense. Are you going to actually honestly sit up here and tell me that for the entire regular season and postseason, Matthew Stafford was carried by that defense? It's the same defense that was ranked 15th and 16th in the middle of the season.
I know.
And everyone was calling for Raheem Morris's job. No, they got way better after the Von Miller trade. I'm not going to discredit that. And they played a big part in keeping them in the game against the Niners, keeping them in the game against the Bengals. Defense deserves a ton of credit. But you guys are going to act and compare Trent Dilfer's, the Nick Foles, the Joe Flacco's to Matthew Stafford, the guy that
ridiculous.
Took his team down the field, game-winning drive against Tampa Bay, game-winning drive against San Francisco, game-winning drive in the Super Bowl.
But Adam, he almost threw interceptions.
Everybody almost throws interceptions.
I mean, I don't get the argument.
It's so ridiculous. It really is.
The argument back is, and I've seen it in the chat, which makes zero sense, is talking about interceptions, which is invalid because you're gonna look at Brett Favre, and Brett Favre, Super Bowl champion, a guy who led the entire NFL in interceptions right now. Matthew Stafford, I mean, listen, you talk about interceptions, but that's grabbing straws. That's someone that has nothing else to pull out of their behind.
Here, I got something for you, right?
Interceptions.
Matthew Stafford, interceptions, right? Matthew Stafford this year, 17. Josh Allen, 15. Justin Herbert, 15. Derek Carr, 14. Ryan Tannehill, 14. Joe Burrow, 14. Not Baker. Baker sucks. Mahomes, 13. Lamar, 13. Tom Brady, 12.
So he threw 4 more than Mahomes. And he's
2 more than Josh Allen. But he sucks.
But he did
sucks.
lead the league in pick sixes.
I understand, but it's like such
you guys, like,
it's such
I love the
such a
stroke
weird
fest that's
stat that
going
you
on
cling
right
on
now,
to.
but given this
Wait,
guy,
you hold
like,
on to
no responsibility for anything.
Stick, if I told you that your Super Bowl, let's say your team, you had a Super Bowl winning quarterback that led the league in pick sixes, would you care? No. You guys are clinging on to, well, he led the league in pick sixes. Okay, he led the league.
I'm just stating facts. That's not hanging on to anything.
All right. You can state facts.
We can
I
state
can
it.
tell you, wait, give me 1 second. I can tell you and all you Matthew Stafford people, okay? I can tell
What do
all
you
of
mean,
you,
you
which
people?
is a fact, you can't deny it, that he's the first quarterback in NFL history, Super Bowl winning quarterback, to throw for 6,000 yards. He's tied with Tom Brady for the most touchdowns in a single season by a Super Bowl winning quarterback with 50. He had 3 game-winning drives in the postseason, the most ever. The first to do it in the divisional, conference, and Super Bowl. And we just disregard it because he had 3 pick sixes in 3 straight weeks. Oh,
But Adam, he had
excuse me.
Sony Michel as his running back. Like, he's good, right?
But wasn't it always Stafford needed a running game to get it done? Wasn't
Well, he
that
didn't
the
need it
Lions'
this
fault?
time, did he? Well, he didn't need it this time.
And that's
Isn't it
my
funny?
thing with, like,
He had- now
Stafford
has-
fans,
is
like,
Sean
they
McVay
revisionist history.
No, it's not. When did you have a Sean McVay in Detroit? You never did. When did you have a Les Snead? You never did.
Jim Caldwell.
Yeah, I mean, have fun with that one. Have fun, guys. You know,
I
speaking
did
of having
have fun with Caldwell.
Yeah,
It was fun.
I liked making the playoffs 50% of the time.
Yeah, I know. Even though, I'm not even going to get into this. 10
That's a
o'clock.
whole segment. We got to talk.
10 o'clock couldn't have came at a better time because I don't feel like talking about Jim Caldwell. Stick, thank you so much, by the way, for filling in. You've been amazing the last week and a half. Appreciate you. Alex Westphal
we got it
will
back
be back tomorrow.
Westy, come back.
Westy will be back. Maddie will be back. Guys, thank you so much for the show. We appreciate all of you. Thanks for the disagreements, agreements, didn't matter. We appreciate all of you and what you do in the chat. It means a ton to us. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Have a great Monday. Get the week started off on the right way. We'll see you tomorrow. And make sure you check out Big D Energy Live 11 to 1 from Chili Peppers.